Chapter 1361. If she went to look for her father now, they might just leave to avoid trouble after finding him. So before that she had to deal with Wuxia's matter. If Wuxia was willing to go with her with Heartbreak Valley around, he would definitely be able to stand out. If he wasn't willing to leave, she could ask Siyu to let him live a worry-free life. Therefore she had to tell him the truth and let him make a decision. Wuxia, I know you're upset right now, but I have to tell you the truth. She patted Wuxia's shoulder. I know where father is and I'm going to find him. Once they found it, they might leave and never come back. So, are you coming with me or are you staying? She was leaving? Wuxia stared at her blankly. Father was no longer around. Was she going to leave too? If you are willing to come with me, I will definitely take care of you. If you want to stay, I'll let Siyu take care of you. Sima Yue continued, or do you have any other thoughts? As long as it's what you want, I'll do my best to help you achieve it. Wuxia didn't expect to make a decision so soon. Thinking that she was going to leave him, he felt a pain in his heart. Sima Yue saw that he did not speak and thought that he was considering. She said, I still have some time before I leave. Think about it first. I'll bring third MO to bid farewell to Master C. If you want to leave with me, wait for me outside. If I didn't see you, I would have asked them. No, I'll go with you. Wuxia said, I'll leave with you. Don't you want to think about it? Wuxia shook his head. I stayed here to wait for father. Now that he's gone, there's no point for me to stay here. Yes, I actually hoped that you would come with me. Aunt Man said that your father was killed by Wei Ming Dai. If she knew of your existence, she might take her anger out on you. It's best to leave this place. Sima Yue said, since you've decided, come with me to bid farewell to Master C. All right. If someone else had asked him to go with them, he might not have been willing. But that person was her, so he was willing to take a gamble. Sima Yue brought them to the Minister of War. Perhaps Wu Man had already informed him beforehand, so when they arrived at the courtyard, no guard stopped them. The guard at the entrance directly went in to report. The guard quickly came out, gestured for them to enter and led them in. Greetings, Master C. Si Kong waved his hand and said, I heard you're leaving? Yes. Sima Yue nodded. I'm really sorry for causing so much trouble for you these days. Apart from the mine, other things won't make a difference whether you're involved or not. Besides, you've already helped us deal with the mine. Si Kong said, but if you leave, you have to be careful. Other than the Zhang family, some of the other families are not easy to get along with. Especially don't touch her. Everyone knew who this sheik was. We will. Thank you, Master C. Sima Yue bowed to Si Kong. Oh yes, I heard that the Zhang family is here to cause trouble again. If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have come so early. To express my apologies, I'll give Master C a small gift. Si Kong saw her take out a space ring and curiously took a look. He saw a black metal ball inside. It didn't seem to have spirit energy surrounding it like a spirit weapon. He didn't know what it was used for. What is this? This is called a thunderbolt bomb. You just have to inject spirit energy into it to make it explode. Sima Yue explained. Si Kong used his mind and a thunderbolt bomb appeared in his hand. Seeing the small metal ball, his mouth twitched. Is this useful for cultivators? If a monarch-level spirit master injects spirit energy, can it release the power of a monarch-level spirit master? And it only needs a little spirit energy. Sima Yue said, so on and so forth. Really? Si Kong and the others had seen spirit weapons that could increase a spirit master's power, but this was the first time. If Master C is interested, you can find a place to experiment. All right. Si Kong opened up a space tunnel and brought the people in the house in. When they came out again, they were already in a wasteland outside the city. I happen to be a monarch-level spirit master. Let me demonstrate for you. Sima Yue said as she took out a small metal ball. After injecting spirit energy into it, she threw it towards the mountain in the distance. Boom! A mountain was blasted into smithereens. Rocks flew everywhere. Luckily, they were far away and didn't get caught in the blast. Si Kong and the others saw the power and their eyes flashed with joy. They saw it clearly just now. Sima Yue only injected a little spirit energy into it, but it exploded with such a strong power. If it was used in battle, it would be very suitable to kill a group of people. And she said before that the effects of different levels of spirit energy were different. If it was someone more powerful. Most importantly, this thing didn't use up any spirit energy. If the spirit energy of an attack was used to activate this, the power of an attack could activate at least 10 thunderbolt bombs. And the power would be even stronger. Most importantly, Sima Yue gave him a bunch of these things. Not just one or two, but a bunch. Thinking of the power this could bring, Si Kong found Sima Yue even more pleasing to the eye. Originally they were nice to her because of Siyu. They didn't expect her to repay them. But they didn't expect her to give them such a good gift. If they fell out with the Zhang family there would be a lot of fighting. If they could use this they would definitely drag the Zhang family down to their grandma's house. I didn't expect this thing to be so good. Yue, thank you for your gift. I like it very much. Si Kong smiled and patted her shoulder. But he felt a sharp gaze staring at his hand. It was as if she wanted to dig out a D from it. He glanced at Wu Lingyu. He heard that this guy was her boyfriend. It seemed like he was a very possessive person. Si family het, since we're already here we won't go back. Sima Yue said, we'll take our leave now. Alright you guys. Before Si Kong could finish his sentence he felt a ripple in the air. Very quickly 2 guards walked over. Steward, family head, the city lord requests your presence. The guards bowed to them. The city lord is looking for us? Did he say anything? Si Kong asked. No, but he specifically instructed us to bring Miss Si Qin over. Si Qin, wasn't that the name Sima Yue casually said? Everyone frowned. Wei Ming Dai actually asked them to bring Sima Yue over at this time. Did she discover something? Chapter 1362. After a moment of silence, Si Kong waved his hand and said, got it. You guys can leave. Yes, Patriarch. Sima Yue then realized that this place belonged to the Si family. Otherwise, the 2 guards would not have been able to find this place. Father, why did that old witch call us over? He even wanted his little sister to tag along. Did she notice something wrong with me in the Forbidden Grounds? Siyu asked worriedly. I don't think so. If that's the case, I'm afraid they wouldn't just send someone to invite you, but directly send someone to capture you. Si Kong said. Is it just to thank her? Hard to say. Since little sister is leaving, why don't we not go? That won't do. If she didn't go, it would definitely arouse the city lord's suspicion. She is a very suspicious person. Once she starts to have thoughts about Yue, it will be hard for Yue to leave. Wu Man said. If that's the case, let's go and meet the city lord. Sima Yue said, if she suspects us, it will be difficult to save father. But what if she does something bad to you? Siyu said worriedly. I don't think so. If you really want to do something to me, I have a way to leave, Sima Yue said confidently. If that's the case then come with us. Si Kong said. Send them back first. Sima Yue didn't want Mu Si and the rest to go with her, but what if something happened and she left? Therefore she had to go back and send them to the little realm. I'll go with you. Wu Lingyu knew what she was thinking and held her hand. Although Wei Ming Dai was only 1,000 years old, she had already stepped into the monarch realm for many years. If he hadn't been tied down by Sima Lu Xian's affairs for the past 50 years, his strength might have been even higher. Who asked her to have a cheat like me? Even though he had never met Wei Ming Dai, he knew how dangerous that woman was. The difference in strength was too great. If something really happened, it would be impossible for her to get him to come out again even if she wanted to. Therefore he had to accompany her. Sima Yue trusted Wu Lingyu more. If anything happened she would still have to rely on him. Hence she sent Mu Si, Third Mo and Di Wu back to the courtyard. When there was no one around, she opened her little realm and let them out, leaving only Wu Lingyu with her. The 2 of them went to find Si Kong and Wu Man. Si Kong and Wu Man were already prepared. After that, Wu Man and Si Kong got in a car, while Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu got in the car behind. The 2 cars drove towards the mansion of the mayor. In the carriage, Sima Yue leaned on Wu Lingyu's shoulder and held his hand. Lingyu, if we fall out with that old witch, can you let us escape unscathed? Weren't you very confident just now? Why are you still asking this question now? Wu Lingyu teased. Isn't it because I believe in your strength? I know that if you don't make a move, once you make a move, it will definitely be earth-shattering. Sima Yue said, but can you still make a move with your body's condition? Don't worry. I will definitely protect you. Wu Lingyu kissed her forehead. Is that guy following you? Sima Yue asked. That guy ate that old guy from the Sage Pavilion in one bite. His strength was definitely not low. If he was around, Wu Lingyu wouldn't have to make a move. Anyway, they weren't outside, so it was fine for him to do whatever he wanted. You should believe in my strength. Wu Lingyu used his other hand to flick her forehead where he kissed just now. Sima Yue glared at him. She was just worried about him. But since he said that, it meant that there was no problem. The beast carriage brought them quickly to the city lord's residence. The city lord's residence was in the middle of Ghost City and took up a huge piece of land. What made Sima Yue puzzled was that this place was so far from the Forbidden Grounds. How did Wei Ming Dai make use of me air to cultivate? Every time it came and went, wasn't it very troublesome? Master, this place looks very far from the forbidden grounds, but it is actually connected by a tunnel. Those city lords only need to go through the tunnel and enter a secret room. That secret room will absorb my strength for them to cultivate. Mier explained. Sima Yue noticed that it was talking about them. That was why the city lords changed again and again. After thousands of years, it was exploited by them day after day. No wonder it wanted to be free so much. She suddenly felt sorry for it. Mier, after we get out, if you want to go anywhere else, I won't restrict your freedom. She thought that Mier would happily agree, but she didn't expect that this guy's first reaction was, "You don't want me anymore?" What? This time it was Sima Yue's turn to be stunned. Your other contracted beasts didn't leave, but you want me to leave. Doesn't this mean that you don't want me anymore? Mier felt wronged. Did she despise it? What nonsense are you thinking? Sima Yue didn't know whether to laugh or cry at its wronged look. It's not that I don't want you, I'm saying that you can go out and travel, you don't have to stay by my side. I have things to do. If you stay by my side you will be restricted. Haven't you always wanted to go out and explore? So it's not that you don't want me anymore. Mier heaved a sigh of relief. After your matters are settled, I will consider whether to leave or not. When Sima Yue heard its words, her lips curled up slightly. This guy wasn't that bad. In the past it was just too eager for freedom. On the other hand, Mier was thinking about how it had been listening to the stories of her past from the other contract beasts, which made it interested in her life. In their last words, it was better for it to follow Yu than to go out, it would definitely make its life more exciting. It had never seen the outside world. After hearing what they said, it also felt that it wasn't bad to follow her. It would follow her for a period of time. If things didn't turn out well, it wouldn't be too late to leave. Sima Yue was busy with the mine and didn't pay attention to the conversation between the beasts, so she didn't know that they had successfully brainwashed Mier. That was why she was surprised at its wronged look. The beast carriage was very fast. Not long after, they appeared in front of the main gate of the mayor's residence. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu alighted from the beast carriage and realized that it wasn't just their beast carriage, there were a few other carriages passing by. It seemed that Wei Ming Dai didn't just ask them to come over. Wu Man and Si Kong alighted too. The coachman chased the beast carriage away and went to the parking lot. Umph. A cold snort mixed with pressure came towards Sima Yue. Wu Lingyu wanted to retaliate, but Wu Man waved the red fan in her hand, dispelling the pressure. She casually fanned herself and looked at Zhang Hao, who had just alighted from the beast carriage, saying faintly, "Zhang Hao, why do you want to kill someone at the main gate of the mayor's residence?" Chapter 1363. Faced with Wu Man's question, Zhang Hao snorted coldly and didn't say anything before directly entering the city lord's estate. Wu Lingyu's entire body was emitting cold air. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Zhang Hao's back. Earlier, if it wasn't for Wu Man dispelling the pressure before him, when he made a move, Zhang Hao would at least lose a layer of skin. "Don't be impulsive, we still need him later," Wu Man said. Sima Yue grabbed Wu Lingyu's hand and said, "I'm fine. Let's not spoil Ant-Man's plan." Zhang Hao felt a killing intent that was almost tangible. He turned around to take a look, but he didn't see who it was. "Okay, I won't ruin your plan." Wu Lingyu retracted his killing intent before Zhang Hao turned around. Zhang Hao only felt the murderous intent but did not see the person. He thought that it was Sima Yue or Wu Man who wanted to kill him. After sneering at them, he turned around and entered the mansion. This Zhang Hao is getting more and more arrogant. Wu Man's face darkened as she said, "It seems that even without you, the conflict between us is about to erupt. Let's go in." As soon as they entered, a maidservant came to greet them. "Greetings to Steward Zhang and Master Si." The maidservant bowed towards them and said with a smile, "This must be Miss Si Qin?" Sima Yue nodded at her in response. "Lian Xiang, has the city lord recovered?" Wu Man asked. "Yes, the city lord came out of seclusion early this morning. His body has already completely recovered," Lian Xiang replied. "You just came out of seclusion this morning? Why did you let us come over so quickly?" "The city lord said that you have worked hard in the forbidden area this time, so he specially set up a banquet to welcome you. Please follow me." After Lian Xiang finished speaking, she led the way in front. Wu Man and Si Kong were stunned. A banquet? Why would the city lord suddenly hold a banquet? Moreover, the timing was so tight. He had just come out of seclusion in the morning, and he had to hold a banquet in the evening. This had never happened before. Previously, they thought that Wei Ming Dai had discovered something, which was why she brought Sima Yue over. From the looks of it now, if he just wanted to hold a banquet to thank everyone, he would definitely have to invite her. After all, she was the one who had solved this problem. This also explained why Zhang Hao and the others were invited as well. Lianxiang did not take them to the banquet hall. Instead, she turned to another courtyard of the city lord's mansion. "Steward, Master C. Miss Si Qin, Master is waiting for you inside. Aren't we going straight to the banquet hall? Master said that before the banquet begins, he would like to have a chat with you. Please." Sima Yue and the rest came to the living room. Before they could sit down, Wei Ming Dai came in from outside. "Greetings, City Lord." Everyone bowed together. "There's no need for that. We're all familiar with each other. Sit anywhere you want." Wei Ming Dai waved her hand and sat down on the main seat. She then looked at Sima Yue and said, "Because of the urgent situation that day, I haven't thanked you properly. Your name is Si Qin, right?" "Yes, City Lord." Sima Yue replied. "I really have to thank you for this matter. If it wasn't for you, I'm afraid Ghost City wouldn't exist anymore." Wei Ming Dai said gratefully. "This is what Si Qin should do. I think if it was anyone else, as long as they could do it, they would definitely come." Sima Yue did not take the credit for herself. "I didn't expect you to have such a mentality at such a young age. Not bad." Wei Ming Dai praised. "City Lord is too kind." Sima Yue saw that she did not mention me and heaved a sigh of relief. However, her expression did not change much. Wei Ming Dai clapped her hands. Lianxiang brought a plate over. On it was a black sandalwood and 3 rings. "This is a section from a 10,000-year-old black sandalwood tree. Keep it by your side when you cultivate. It can help you focus and calm your qi. It can help with your cultivation and reduce the possibility of going crazy. For children like you, it's quite useful." Wei Ming Dai explained. "Now, I'm giving it to you as a thank you gift for saving Ghost City." "Thank you, City Lord." Sima Yue did not feel much about this item because it was useless to her. However, when she thought of Mu Si, she felt that it would be useful to him. "The other 3 rings are the thank you gifts that I asked them to prepare," Wei Ming Dai said. "Was it prepared by Steward Zhang and the rest?" Sima Yue asked. "Yes. Since you're from Wu Man's side, the other 3 naturally have to give you a thank you gift." "Hee, then I'll have to thank City Lord and all the stewards." Sima Yue picked up the space ring and casually checked it. She smiled happily. It was filled with things. It seemed like the other 3 had put in a lot of effort. "Speaking of which, I've also prepared a thank you gift." Wu Man took out a space ring and passed it to Sima Yue. Then she smiled and explained to Wei Ming Dai, "Si Qin isn't considered to be from the north of the city. I can't take advantage of her and save my thank you gift." "Didn't you say that she's the daughter of the Si family?" "That was Si Yu's doing." Wu Man smiled. "You know that girl. The Si family spoils her to the heavens. She met Si Qin when she was playing outside and brought her back. She didn't expect that she would encounter the forbidden area the moment she came back. Because she was angered by Zhang Hao, she said that she was Si Kong's adopted daughter. That's why we're not that familiar with her. Naturally, I can't leave out this thank you gift." "I see. Then where is Si Qin from and how did she meet Si Yu?" In reply to City Lord, "I'm actually not from Ghost City. When Si Yu went outside to play, she was attracted by the things I made. That's how the 2 of them got to know each other. After that, I invited her to Ghost City. I didn't expect to encounter such things. After staying here for a few days, I plan to go back in 2 days." Sima Yue said. "You're going back?" Not sure if it was an illusion, but when Wei Ming Dai said this, her tone seemed a little off. "Yes. My father is strict and doesn't allow me to run outside to play. This time I came in with Si Yu behind my family's back. If my father finds out that I sneaked out to play, I'll definitely be in trouble." Sima Yue said with some distress. Before I came, Si Qin told me that she was preparing to go back. She said that she would be punished by her father. I originally wanted her to stay here for a while, but now that she said that, I can't say anything." Wu Man fanned her bloody fan. The smile in her eyes was as if she really couldn't do anything to Yue. "That man. You're making fun of me." Sima Yue looked angrily at Wu Man as if she was acting coquettishly. Wu Lingyu, who was at the side, played with the thumb ring on his hand as his eyes flashed. This girl had never acted coquettishly towards him before. Ever since they met, she always had a mature and experienced look. Acting coquettishly like this had a different flavor to it. If she acted coquettishly towards him like this. Thinking of this, his lips curled up. He was in a good mood and decided to go back and try it out. Reading background default settings classic light blue classic light gray classic green classic bright yellow dark blue ocean autumn abundant green simple elegant red powder aristocratic family red talk dense sea vast sky broken heart past snow white world gray world font color default settings white red green blue brown font size default settings small medium large speed 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 0 mouse scrolling explanation 1 to 10 1 is the slowest, 10 is the fastest. Chapter 1364. Wei Ming Dai looked at the interaction between Sima Yue and Wu Man. Her gaze changed as she asked, "Since you're in Ghost City then play more. If you're afraid that your father will punish you, I'll send someone to talk to him. I think I still have some face." When Sima Yue heard what she said, she looked like she was flattered, and then she became distressed. "What? You can't do that? Could it be that your father won't even give me face?" Wei Ming Dai asked solemnly. "If the city lord can talk to my father, it will definitely be possible. However, it will be my mother's birthday soon. I have to rush back," Sima Yue said hesitantly. She looked at Wei Ming Dai carefully. Seeing that she was angry, she quickly smiled and said, "But there's still some time before my mother's birthday. I can play for a few more days before going back. When the time comes, I'll have to trouble the city lord to intercede for me." Seeing that Sima Yue had relented, Wei Ming Dai smiled again and said, "Leave this matter to your Aunt Man. You definitely won't be punished." "Thank you, Castellan. Thank you, Aunt Man." Sima Yue bowed to the two of them before returning to her seat. "Wuman Sichin has done a great favor for our Ghost City. You have to deal with this matter properly. You can't let her be punished just because we let her stay here," Wei Ming Dai warned. "I will. City Lord, don't worry about that. How can I not handle such a small matter?" Wu Man said with a smile. "That's good." Wei Ming Dai was very confident in Wu Man's ability. She then turned to Sima Yue and said, "Oh right, I heard that the thing in the forbidden area was chased back by your contracted beast. Can you show me what kind of powerful spiritual beast it is?" Sima Yue did not expect her to want to see Little Black. Thinking that no one in this world would be able to recognize Little Black, she called it out. "Woof woof woof." The moment Little Black came out, it called out to Sima Yue before calling out to Wei Ming Dai. "This is a dog?" Wei Ming Dai was very surprised to see Little Black. That day Little Black did not make a sound. She chased everyone away not long after arriving at the Forbidden Grounds, so she did not pay much attention to Little Black. Later on, when he heard his subordinates talk about it, he only felt that it was very powerful. It was actually able to make the power that had already rushed out obediently go back. He didn't even think about what it was like. Therefore, when he suddenly heard the two dog barks, he was really surprised. Little Black is not a dog. "It just looks like a dog, but it's much more powerful than a dog," Sima Yue said seriously. "If it's not a dog, what is it?" "I don't know either. When I met it, it was already like this. It had been by my side for more than 10 years, but it had never changed. But Little Black is definitely not a dog." The more she described Little Black as extraordinary, the more she could dispel other people's doubts about it. "Yes, I also believe that it's not a dog." Wei Ming Dai smiled and said, "A normal dog wouldn't be able to make that thing in the Forbidden Grounds behave. City Lord also thinks that it's very powerful, right?" I knew that City Lord would definitely have a different opinion. Sima Yue looked at her happily. "Although Little Black looks like it doesn't have any spiritual energy and eats a lot usually, I have never despised it. I knew that it would be very powerful one day." She tried her best to make herself look more innocent and cute. She wanted Wei Ming Dai to think that she was just an ordinary girl and would not really notice her. But a trace of vigilance rose in her heart. Wei Ming Dai gave her a gift of thanks and asked about Little Black. Could it be that she was interested in her? If that was the case, how was she going to save her father? Little Black doesn't have any spiritual energy? Wei Ming Dai's expression changed for a moment, but she immediately regained her smile. "It's so powerful without any spiritual energy. It must be some powerful spiritual beast that was born in the world. If it recovers its spiritual energy, it would be very powerful." Can Little Black recover its spiritual energy? But it has been like this for so long. Sima Yue pretended to be confused. "It should be. That's great." Sima Yue clapped her hands and bent over to carry Little Black, making it face her. "Little Black, did you hear that? City Lord said that you might recover your strength. I knew that you were not a useless person. How is it, are you happy?" Woof woof woof, Little Black barked twice. The others did not know if it was happy or if it did not understand her words. Actually, it's very simple to see if Little Black is a useless person. We don't have to wait for it to recover its strength. Wei Ming Dai said. Really? Sima Yue looked at her in disbelief. Then her eyes flashed with joy as she asked urgently, Really? We don't have to wait for it to recover its strength to prove it? Yes. That's great. Sima Yue said happily. After I contracted Little Black, I was scolded by my father for a long time. He said that I contracted a useless person. If I can prove that Little Black is not a useless person, my father, mother and family members will not scold me anymore. City Lord, what is the method? Isn't it very powerful against that thing in the Forbidden Grounds? It has already been sealed by me, so I can't use it to prove it. But as long as you find something similar to it and record the scene of it dealing with that thing, you can bring it back and show it to others. Won't you be able to prove it? Wei Ming Dai tempted. There are other similar things in other places? Sima Yue was interested. Where is it? In a very secretive place. Wei Ming Dai said, If you want to go, only I can bring you there. City Lord. Wu Man shouted out in disapproval, attracting Wei Ming Dai's dissatisfied gaze. Why, you have a problem with this? Wei Ming Dai's voice became lower. She was a little angry. City Lord, are you thinking of letting Little Black go there? How can you let an outsider enter that place? Wu Man frowned. She had already guessed what Wei Ming Dai wanted to do. Why do I need your approval to make a decision? Wei Ming Dai asked coldly. Your subordinate doesn't dare. Wu Man lowered her head. She was thinking of how to help Sima Yue reject it. But Wei Ming Dai's words were absolute in the city. If she went overboard, she would definitely arouse her suspicions. But if Sima Yue went with her, then everything would be messed up. Sima Yue's eyes flashed. She had also guessed Wei Ming Dai's intention. She wanted her to use Little Black to force Mu Shan's power away. Without the power's protection, her father would be captured by her again. So this was the old witch's plan. After thinking for a while, she smiled at Wei Ming Dai. City Lord, what is that place? When can we go there? I must let them see if Little Black is a useless person. Chapter 1365. Sima Yue's reaction shocked everyone. Did she know what would happen if she agreed to Wei Ming Dai's request? City Lord, no one has ever been to that place, not to mention she's just an outsider. Wu Man disagreed. I've already decided. You don't have to say any more. Wei Ming Dai's attitude was firm. When are we going? Sima Yue asked. How about we go after the banquet? After the banquet? Sima Yue was in a dilemma. Can we go 2 days later? I need to talk to Siyu. Although Wei Ming Dai was anxious, she couldn't say it out loud. She nodded and said, Then let's wait for 2 days. After 2 days I will send someone to borrow it for you. Since the city lord has decided, I will go with you. When the time comes, bring her there directly. Wu Man said. No need. I'll take her there. You still need to take care of the matters in the city. Wei Ming Dai rejected. Ant-Man, there are so many things to do in the city every day, you don't have to go. Anyway, we'll be back after we record the scene of Xiao Hei forcing that thing to retreat. Sima Yue said. Then, all right. Wu Man nodded. City Lord, when the time comes, should I come here directly to look for you? Sima Yue asked. I wonder if I can make it to the city lord's residence alive after leaving the Xi family. Wei Ming Dai heard from the servant girl about what happened that day and knew about the conflict between her and the Zhang clan. She immediately understood what she meant and smiled. Don't worry, no one will dare to touch you. Thank you, City Lord. Sima Yue stood up and bowed towards Wei Ming Dai as she said cheerfully. Ehe, what a sensible child. Wei Ming Dai praised. Sima Yue felt a chill down her spine. She looked so kind and amiable now. If she didn't know that she was forcing her father to marry her, if she didn't know that she wanted her to force her father out, you might really think that she was a good person. They chatted for a while more before Lian Xiang entered. She bowed to everyone and said, Master, the banquet is about to begin. It's almost time. Lian Xiang, bring them to the banquet hall first. I'll change my clothes and come over. Wei Ming Dai ordered. Everyone in the living room stood up and bowed towards Wei Ming Dai before leaving with Lian Xiang. Wei Ming Dai didn't move from her seat. At this moment, another servant girl walked up from behind and prepared to help her change her clothes. Shiyu, what do you think about that Sima Yue? Wei Ming Dai asked. I think she's just like any other young lady, Shiyu replied. Really? But why do I feel like she's a little different? But if you look closely, it's the same. Wei Ming Dai said doubtfully. It doesn't matter whether she is the same or not, as long as she can help Master, it's good. That's right. Let's see how he is Yue. Ming Dai loved you, she was yours. You to you no. And you Ming you. But she knew that she had to force him out. If they couldn't be together, then she would destroy him and let him live in her heart forever. Let's go. Change your clothes. On the other side, Lian Xiang brought everyone to the banquet hall. After leaving the courtyard, Wu Man said to Lian Xiang, "All right, Lian Xiang, we know how to get to the banquet hall. You can go and do other things." This kind of situation had happened before, so Lian Xiang didn't think of anything else and listened to her and left. After Lian Xiang left, Wu Man casually set up a sound barrier. She looked at Sima Yue with a solemn face and said, "Do you know what you just agreed to? Do you know the consequences of going with her?" "I know," Sima Yue said, "but at that time, other than cooperating with her, do I have any other choice? You shouldn't have agreed to it so hastily." Wu Man was really angry. "If you lose your life because of this, how can I face your father in the future?" "Man, don't worry. I'll be fine," Sima Yue said. No matter what reason she had to protect her, at least she was still grateful. "If you go with her, even if you meet your father and acknowledge him, how are you going to escape from her hands?" Wu Man's anger didn't lessen because of her words. "I have Lingyu." Sima Yue held onto Wu Lingyu's hand. "He's very powerful. With him around, I don't have to worry about Wei Ming Dai. I can even take revenge for my father." This was a decision she made on the way here. Since Wu Lingyu said that there was no problem, then there naturally wouldn't be a problem. Wei Ming Dai frowned. She didn't believe him. Wu Lingyu looked like he was only 200 to 300 years old. How powerful could he be? "Why don't I tell the city lord to go with you guys later?" she said. "I can help you guys delay it." "Man, if you go, how are you going to stay in the city in the future? I'm afraid Wei Ming Dai will be the first to not let you off." Sima Yue said, "Don't worry. I came to save my father, not to die." Yue is right. She must be confident since she agreed to the city lord's request. "You don't have to worry." Si Kong persuaded. Wu Man saw that even Si Kong was speaking up for her and understood the logic. "What nonsense. Man, don't be angry. Let's go to the banquet. If we delay for too long, it will attract other people's attention," Sima Yue said with a smile. "Let's go." Wu Man removed the enchantment and brought them to the banquet hall. As expected, when they arrived, Zhang Hao, Meng Sha and Luo Qi were already there. Behind them were the elders of their respective clans. "Why are you guys so slow?" Meng Sha didn't wait for them to sit down and asked. "We went to the city lord's courtyard first and talked for a while before coming over," Wu Man said. "Why did you go to the city lord's courtyard?" Zhang Hao said in a weird tone, "Don't tell me you guys went to complain? You think that because you are narrow-minded, others will be the same as you?" Wu Man rolled her eyes at him. "The city lord just wants to see Si Qin to thank her for the forbidden area. He also gave her your gift of thanks. Let's see how long you guys can be proud for." Zhang Hao snorted. Wu Man smiled meaningfully and didn't say anything else. After a while, Wei Ming Dai brought Lian Xiang and Shi Yu in. Everyone stood up to welcome them. No need for formalities. Wei Ming Dai came to the main seat and sat down. When she saw Sima Yue, she waved at her and said, "Child, come here and sit beside me." Lian Xiang and Shi Yu got people to arrange a seat beside the main seat. This action caused everyone's expression to change. Chapter 1366. Sima Yue saw everyone's reaction. She was just adding a seat below. Why did these people have such a big reaction? "City Lord, that position is prepared for the young City Lord. I don't think it's appropriate to let a little kid sit there." Zhang Hao was the first to ask. "Isn't there no young City Lord now? Si Qin saved the lives of everyone in the city. What's wrong with sitting here?" Wei Ming Dai said, "Child, come." Sima Yue finally understood that those people thought that Wei Ming Dai wanted her to be the young City Lord. Seeing Zhang Hao's ugly expression, she smiled and said to Wei Ming Dai, "Thank you, City Lord. Then Si Qin will gladly accept." Finished speaking, she came to the short table that Lian Xiang had prepared for her and sat down. Then she proudly lifted her chin towards Zhang Hao. "Si Qin isn't from Ghost City. She was brought in by Si Yu and will leave in a few days. Letting her sit here is just to express our gratitude. At the same time, we want you to remember that she is your savior." Wei Ming Dai casually explained that she wouldn't make her the young City Lord. Only then did everyone relax. The City Lord usually chose the junior City Lord from the entire Ghost City, so anyone present or even anyone in the city could become the junior City Lord. If someone suddenly appeared and claimed to be the young city lord, wouldn't that be hindering the interests of all the forces? Now that they heard Wei Mingdai's words, everyone found her pleasing to the eye again. When something happened in the forbidden area, I didn't make it back in time. Thank you for your hard work. Now let me toast everyone. Wei Mingdai raised her cup and the others followed suit. Everyone drank a cup together. This wine wasn't tasty, so Sima Yue only took a sip and didn't touch it. She spent most of her time chatting with Wei Mingdai. When the people below saw her chatting so happily with Wei Mingdai, they started to have their own plans. Even Zhang Hao had changed his mind. He had originally planned to kidnap them, torture them, and then kill them. Even if Si Kong and the others came to ask for him, it would only cause a conflict between the north and the south. But now she had caught Wei Mingdai's eye, and Wei Mingdai had openly expressed her interest in her. If something were to happen to her now, he would definitely be punished by Wei Mingdai. In any case, the city lord would return to Sunset Mountain in a few days. It wouldn't be too late to act then. Moreover, he had other more important things to do. Those families had problems with their mines. If they couldn't solve it, the banquet didn't last long because everyone had to go back to deal with the mine. Wei Mingdai also knew about this. Hence, she only had a small gathering to let everyone express their gratitude to Sima Yue before letting them go back. Anyway, the purpose of this banquet was not to get together, but to invite Sima Yue over and to tell these people not to touch her. Now that he had achieved his goal, it was time to let them return. Si Qin, we will leave in 2 days. Wei Mingdai told Sima Yue before she left. Returning to the Si family, Si Yu rushed over as soon as she heard the news. Little sister, father said you agreed to go with that old witch? Yeah. How could you agree? She definitely wants you to go because she wants you to force Sunset Mountain's power back so that she can catch your father. When that time comes, you will save your father, but how will you escape from under her nose? Si Yu said anxiously. Also, if she finds out that you are your father's daughter, she will definitely kill you. We don't know who will kill who yet. Sima Yue was not worried at all. You're so confident. Si Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry at her nonchalant look. Do you know what rank that old witch is? I think she should be at the high paragon rank. She's about to enter the emperor rank? Sima Yue asked. I don't know if she's close to the emperor rank, but there was once a middle stage emperor rank who provoked her and was instantly killed by her. Si Yu said, so you can imagine how strong she is. That's pretty strong. But there's always someone stronger. Sima Yue said, also at that time she wanted me to go. If I rejected her, I'm afraid she would be angry and things would be even more difficult. Also, I've already agreed, so there's no point in saying this now. Alright, I'm going to go into closed-door cultivation for 2 days to prepare some things. Si Yu thought about it and agreed. Saying this now wouldn't change anything. Alright then, we'll talk about it when you come out. You go ahead with your work, I'm going back. Sima Yue smiled as she sent her off. Then, she got Wu Lingyu to set up an enchantment so that the outside wouldn't be able to sense this place. She then brought him into the spirit pagoda. You want to refine pills? Wu Lingyu knew what she was going to do the moment he saw her enter the pill refining room. Sima Yue took out all the healing pill recipes and said, but I'm not the one refining the pills. I can't refine these recipes yet, so I need your help. Wu Lingyu flipped through the recipes and said, they're all healing pills and their grades are higher. Father's injuries are so serious, I don't know what will happen when the time comes. Sima Yue said, so I think it's better to prepare more healing pills. What if one of them comes in handy? But there are a lot of pills here that I can't refine. Anything below 10th grade is fine. Wu Lingyu said. Then refine those below 10th grade. Sima Yue didn't force him. In the later stages of refining pills, one would need to infuse spirit energy to condense the pills. If Wu Lingyu used his dark energy, he would naturally be able to refine higher grade pills. However, his light attribute spirit energy wouldn't be able to do so. If he wasn't strong enough, the pills he could refine would be limited. Sima Yue was also a pill master, so she naturally understood this point. She took out all the pill recipes below 10th grade and asked Little Spirit to prepare the ingredients according to the recipe. Little Spirit quickly prepared the herbs and Wu Lingyu began to refine. In 20 days he had refined more than 10 types of 10th grade pills. After refining, Sima Yue gave him the soul fluid to recover his mental strength quickly. However, this guy's mental strength was shockingly strong. After refining so many high-grade pills continuously for so long, he only felt a little tired. He was fine after taking the soul fluid. If it was an ordinary person, they would probably collapse after 3 to 5 days. When the agreed time came, Sima Yue came out of the spirit pagoda and went to bid farewell to Si Kong and Siyu. Wu Man was also there. Seeing her, she said, "If you change your mind now, I'm willing to help you tell the city lord." "No need." Sima Yue shook her head. "I think the city lord should be waiting for me. Thank you for your help these days. If you go out in the future, you can find me at Heartbreak Valley." "You." Wu Man's face darkened. "The city lord is here." Chapter 1367. Before Wu Man finished speaking, Wei Ming Dai appeared in the sky above the Sea family. It seemed like she couldn't wait any longer. Her appearance also made Wu Man swallow the rest of her words. "Greetings, City Lord." Everyone bowed to her. "No need." Wei Ming Dai waved her hand and looked at Sima Yue. "Are you ready?" "All right." Sima Yue said, "City Lord, let's go." "Little sister." Siyu called out worriedly. "Wait for me to come back and show you how domineering Xiao He is." Sima Yue waved at Siyu and flew to Wei Ming Dai's side with Wu Lingyu. Wei Ming Dai opened a spatial tunnel and brought the two of them in. When they came out, they were already in a vast mountain range. "Castellan, where are we?" Sima Yue asked, even though she already knew the answer. "This is Sunset Mountain. There is a very powerful influence here. When the time comes, you just have to chase the power back. I will help you record it with the Shadow Stone." Wei Ming Dai said. "Really? Thank you, City Lord. Oh right, I have a favor to ask. A friend of mine is trapped here. If you see her, please bring her out." Wei Ming Dai said. "Since she is the mayor's friend, I will definitely bring her out if I meet her." Sima Yue said. "All right. Go ahead then." Sima Yue called out Little Black and hugged him in her arms. Then she followed Wei Ming Dai's instructions and walked towards the place. Wu Lingyu followed her closely. They were now at the edge of a thick fog. Wei Ming Dai had been stuck here for dozens of years. Even if she could occasionally get close, she would be blocked back after a short while. But she couldn't attack it. Once she attacked it, it would counterattack and cause a commotion in Ghost City. All these years she clearly knew that he was inside, but she couldn't get close. This really made her angry. At this moment she was standing not far away. When she saw Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu easily enter, she subconsciously clenched her fists. Sure enough, this little girl could enter. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu walked in and the black fog behind them surged back, blocking Wei Ming Dai who was about to follow them. "Si Qin, what's going on?" Wei Ming Dai called out to the people inside. Sima Yue didn't even turn her head as Wei Ming Dai wouldn't be able to see her. "City Lord, this place is a little different from the Forbidden Area. He seemed to be even more powerful than the one in the Forbidden Area. I don't know if I can deal with him. For safety's sake, City Lord, you should wait outside. Are you all right?" Wei Ming Dai didn't think that Sima Yue was lying to her. "It's all right." Sima Yue looked around. She was surrounded by thick fog and could not tell the directions, let alone find someone. "City Lord, didn't you say that your friend was trapped inside? Why don't you tell me the direction and I'll go and save her for you?" Wei Ming Dai was still worried that Sima Yue would shrink back because of this difference and give up on saving her. She had already thought about it. If Sima Yue were to shrink back, she wouldn't mind using force. Now that she took the initiative to ask, she avoided a conflict. "I can sense your location and I'll guide you there." "Okay." At the beginning, the fog wasn't so wide and Sima Lu Xian had chased it over bit by bit. So Wei Ming Dai didn't know Sima Lu Xian's exact location, but she could estimate it. It had been 50 years. He had isolated himself from her for 50 years and also imprisoned her for 50 years. Why would he rather imprison her than follow her? Was that woman that good? Sima Yue didn't know the change in emotions of the woman outside and just followed the direction she said. With Little Black around, she could move around freely. After walking for a few hundred kilometers, the black fog slowly lessened and the visibility increased. She told Wei Ming Dai about this situation and Wei Ming Dai told her that she was close to the center and the trapped person was nearby. She had to find the exact location herself. "I know where it is." Wu Lingyu held her hand and led her forward. Her father was not far ahead. Thinking of this, she was extremely nervous and her palms were sweating. "Don't be nervous. Your father will be very proud to see such an outstanding you." Wu Lingyu comforted. "I never thought that I would meet my father under such circumstances." Sima Yue said. "I never thought that I would meet father-in-law in this kind of situation. I wonder if he will be satisfied with me?" Wu Lingyu said in a serious tone. "Piff." Sima Yue was amused by his expression and her nervous mood slowly relaxed. "We're here." Wu Lingyu led her out of the thick fog and came to a clear world. In this world, A man with snow-white hair sat in the circle formed by the force with his eyes closed. Even after 50 years his white clothes were still spotless. Sima Yuyue's eyes moistened when she saw his white hair. How much life did he consume over the years to turn his black hair white? "Father," she muttered in a low voice, but Sima Luxian couldn't hear her, but he opened his eyes as if he sensed something. His gaze was a little empty. The injury in his body made him a little delirious, but he still felt that someone he missed was here. "Father?" Sima Yue finally couldn't control herself and shouted. Why was his gaze so empty? Why was it so difficult for him to even open his eyes? She wanted to rush over but was stopped by Wu Lingyu. "Don't be rash. These flying forces don't have intelligence, they won't care about Xiao Hei's power. If you go over now, you won't be able to save your father. You'll cause chaos and get killed by your father." "Then what should we do?" "Look at father, he can't hold on anymore." Sima Yuyue's face was covered in tears unknowingly. "Third MO, he should be able to channel the force out of here," Wu Lingyu reminded. "Yes, find him, find him." Sima Yue took out a small door and opened the little realm. Third MO Di Wu and the rest came out. Huang Yingying came out and saw Sima Luxian in the middle. She immediately became agitated and wanted to go forward but was stopped by Sima Xiu. "Don't be rash. You might harm him if you go over before you know what it is." "Luxian. How did he become like this?" Sima Lu Feng and the rest were shocked when they saw him. They didn't expect him to become like this. Sima Yue calmed down and said to Huang Yingying and the rest, "Grandpa, Grandma, don't worry. Father is trapped. We have to break this before we can get close to him." Chapter 1368. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she looked at Third Mo and asked, "Do you have a way to solve this?" Third Mo saw the power flying around Sima Luxian and sighed, "Your father is really ruthless to himself, this is a killing move." When everyone heard what he said, their faces turned pale with fright. "Kill? Are you saying that there's no other way?" Huang Yingying cried. "That's not what I meant." Third Mo saw that they had misunderstood and quickly explained, "What I mean is that he set up a death array for himself. If anyone dares to attack the energy around him, he will die with them." "Do you have any ideas?" Sima Yue asked. "There is a way, but we still need to do some calculations." Third Mo said, "We just need to lure these forces away." "I'll have to trouble you then." Sima Yue said. "Come with me. I'll need you later," Third Mo requested. "All right." Sima Yue knew that Third Mo might not be able to solve such a complicated situation by himself, so she started to calculate with him. It took the two of them a day to figure out the direction of the Shi. As long as they could figure this out, it would be much easier to lead the Shi away. Huang Yingying and the rest didn't take their eyes off Sima Luxian for the entire day. They only shifted their attention back when Sima Yue and Third Mo returned. "How is it?" "We have a plan, but we need everyone's cooperation," Sima Yue said. "What should we do?" "Me, Third Mo, Lingyu, Grandpa, Grandma, Uncle Lu Feng, Uncle Lu Yun and Xiaotong. We'll each take a position and divide the forces according to the order," Sima Yue said. "Young Miss Xiaotong isn't strong, let me replace him," Di Wu said. "Xiaotong's position is weaker, so he only needs a little bit of spiritual energy. You have other things to do." "Then what should I do?" Di Wu also wanted to contribute. "Di Wu, your matter is the most important," Sima Yue said. "Do you see the aura of death surrounding father?" Di Wu took a closer look. Sima Luxian was indeed surrounded by a faint death aura. "Other than you and me, no one else can see here. I have to distract them, so I'll leave the death chi to you." Sima Yue said, "My father's spiritual energy has been depleted over the years. He has been converting the death aura into energy that he can use to support this. That's why he's been seriously injured all these years. No wonder his life card has always been like this. The death energy gave him strength, but since it's not compatible, his body was injured." Sima Luyan said. "That's right." Sima Yue nodded her head. "This formation actually consumes very little energy. That's why he was able to sustain it with spirit power and elixirs a few years ago. But later on, even though there was very little death chi, it still hurt his body." "My child?" Thinking of Sima Luxian's suffering, Huang Yingying couldn't help but cry. "Di Wu, what you have to do later is to absorb all the death aura around my father the moment we distract them." Sima Yue said, "The death aura will backfire at that moment. To my father it's fatal. You might be injured, but it won't be fatal." "All right. I will definitely," Di Wu said. "All right. Then I'll tell you our sequence and what we have to do." There are a total of 8 positions, the 8 of us. Following her explanation, everyone knew what to do and went to their respective positions. Everyone, we don't have the chance to practice. This is the only chance. Sima Yue glanced at everyone, especially Xiao Tong. Xiao Tong's strength was very low. Although his part was the easiest, she was still worried. But, other than strength, it also required tacit understanding. The people in Bloodfiend City might be stronger than Xiao Tong, but they might not be better than Xiao Tong because they didn't have much contact with other people. She took a deep breath and relaxed herself, saying, "Let's begin." Third Mo started to condense his spirit power. Once the spirit power came into contact with the force, it immediately merged with it and tried to divert it away from its original direction. But it was counterattacked. Ugh! Blood trickled out from the corner of Third Mo's mouth. He couldn't be bothered to wipe it off as he increased his strength and got into a stalemate with the force. Sima Yue looked on worriedly. She knew that the first step was the hardest. If it wasn't for Third Mo's understanding of the force, most people wouldn't even dare to try it. Ha! Third Mo shouted. The force was finally shaken by him and diverted from its original position. Every force came out from this side and injected into the ground from the opposite side. 8 directions, 8 semicircles. They attracted each other but didn't interfere with each other. When the first force deviated, Sima Yue immediately diverted the force that she was in charge of to the side. Then the third force, the fourth force, Diwu, Sima Yue called out to Diwu. Diwu immediately went through the gap and came to Sima Lu Xian's side. He sat cross-legged and absorbed all the surrounding death aura into his body like how he usually did when he was cultivating. But because the death aura was mixed with the power of the force, his meridians were in pain when he absorbed it into his body. But he didn't relax and continued to absorb it. Even if he couldn't convert it into power in his body, he had to absorb all of it. He couldn't let it hurt young Mrs. Father again. He could recover if he was injured, but if he was hit again he might really lose his life. Therefore, victory or defeat this time could be said to be on his shoulders. Thinking of this, he sucked even harder. He had to absorb all of it. Sima Yue was grateful to Di Wu for absorbing the death aura like he didn't care about his life. Although he looked a little silly usually, he was still very reliable during crucial moments. She decided that she wouldn't bully him verbally in the future. When the 8 forces deviated from their original positions, Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu teleported at the same time and came to Sima Lu Xian and Di Wu's side. They carried one each and brought them away from their original position. The others also retreated. Sima Lu Yun came to Little Helper's side and brought him to the back. In the end, only Third Mo was left. The retreat of the forces was only temporary. The counterattack would be stronger than before. So Third Mo had to sort them out. Mi-Er, go and help him. Sima Yue called Mi-Er out. Mi-Er had been observing the situation outside. He was the best at dealing with these things. He came to Third Mo's side and threw him to Sima Lu Feng. Then he dealt with the restless forces alone. Mi-Er, just guide them back. Don't attack them. Sima Yue suddenly thought that Ghost City would be affected and reminded him. But she was still a step too late. Mi-Er had already launched his first attack. The ground of Sunset Mountain started to shake. The same thing happened at Ghost City. Some streets and houses were torn apart. Chapter 1369. This was the first time such a situation had occurred in Ghost City. Everyone panicked. Is Ghost City going to collapse? Wu Man and the other 3 arrived in the sky at the same time. When they saw Ghost City shaking, they all thought of the same thing. Something happened at Sunset Mountain. Let's go and take a look. Just as they were about to go over, the Ghost City stopped shaking. If it wasn't for the panicked crowd and the torn streets and houses, it was as if none of this had happened. You guys stay here to appease the people. Let's go take a look. Meng Sha said to the people behind him. He then opened a spatial tunnel and went in. Then Zhang Hao and Luo Qi also went over. Si Kong and Si Yu came to Wu Man's side. Ant-Man, did something happen over there? Yes. Take a look at the situation here. I'll go over there and take a look. Wu Man instructed. Zhang Hao and the others had already gone over. It seemed that she had no choice but to go. Moreover, she was also worried about what had happened over there. Did the rescue operation fail? Did he already? Ant-Man, I'll go with you. Si Yu requested. You stay here. Wu Man rejected him without hesitation. Then she opened a space tunnel and went to Sunset Mountain alone. The situation over there is too dangerous. You should stay here. How could Sikong not know what his daughter was thinking? However, it was better to nip things in the bud if they were not suitable for each other. But little sister, Si Yu was extremely worried. Since she said she has a way, then she must have one. Sikong said with a cold face, if you go, you might mess up her plan and kill them all. If you're really worried about her, then take good care of her in the city. This was the first time Sikong had spoken to her so harshly. Siyu was stunned. Little sister, father is right. You don't know her plans. If you go, you might drag her down. It won't be easy for her to deal with the old witch and a few stewards. Cize advised. I know. Siyu lowered her head and obediently followed them back. Wu Man and company soon arrived outside Sunset Mountain. The first thing they saw was Wei Ming Dai, who was outside the fog. At this moment, Wei Ming Dai's face was frighteningly dark. Those who were familiar with her knew that she was in a rage. City Lord, what happened? Luo Qi asked. How's the situation in the city? Wei Ming Dai asked instead of answering. Some cracks have appeared and destroyed a part of the streets and houses. The number of casualties has yet to be ascertained. Meng Sha said, everything was fine, why would Ghost City have such a violent upheaval? Wei Ming Dai turned to look at Wu Man. You already knew, didn't you? Know what? Wu Man looked at Wei Ming Dai in astonishment. She really didn't know anything about Sima Yoyue's plan. Plus, she had concealed her thoughts very well, so she didn't seem to have any flaws. The other three were surprised to see her looking at Wu Man so suspiciously. However, they were tactful enough to not say anything. Wei Ming Dai stared at her for a while before retracting her gaze, saying, that person didn't just come here to play. She's coming for Sima Lu Xian. They came for him? That person is here to save him? Everyone was shocked. After so many years, there was actually a little child who came to save him. This was too inconceivable. At this time, Mi-Air had already forced all the forces back, and the thick fog that shrouded the outside had also dispersed. The 5 figures flashed and flew towards the depths of Sunset Mountain. At this time, in the depths of the mountain, Sima Lu Xian was already unconscious. He laid in his mother's arms and his face was as pale as paper. Sima Yu fed him quite a few pills, but he didn't even have the strength to swallow them in his mouth. If it wasn't for his strong willpower, he wouldn't have been able to hold on until now. Sima Yu saw that he was only holding it and not swallowing it, and her tears fell immediately. Father, swallow it. Father, I beg you, swallow it quickly. She cried and begged. Xian'er, swallow the pills quickly. Look at mother, we are all here. Don't abandon us. Huang Yingying said, look at Yue. Yue has already grown so big. You haven't seen her grow up, she looks so much like you, Kaluo. Yue, don't you have medical skills? Can't you stimulate him to swallow it? Third Mo asked. Yes. Sima Yue quickly took out her silver needles, pulled open his clothes and inserted a few needles into his chest. She was so worried that she was flustered. She was so frightened by him that she actually forgot about this. Sima Lu Xian only regained some energy after the silver needles were inserted. He opened his eyes and subconsciously swallowed the pills in his mouth. Sima Yu watched as he swallowed the pill and heaved a sigh of relief. Father, how are you? Sima Lu Xian slowly regained his consciousness and his eyes slowly focused. Seeing that familiar face, he called out softly. Kaluo, father, I'm not mother, I'm Yue. Yue, child? Sima Yue fed him the other pills which were refined by Wu Lingyu 2 days ago. The pills gradually took effect, but Sima Lu Xian's body was still very weak. You let me do it. Little Seven said in the spirit pagoda. Sima Yue didn't know why Little Seven came out at this time, but she wasn't in the mood to ask and directly called Little Seven out. When Little Seven came out, they felt a strong breath of life. This is. Sima Yue saw the golden branch in her hand and her eyes flashed with joy. Did Qingyi give it to you? Yes. Little Seven bit her finger and dripped 2 drops of blood, which merged with the essence in the paper. Let him drink this. Thank you. Sima Yue took the branch and fed the essence mixed with Little Seven's blood into Sima Lu Xian's mouth. Sima Lu Xian's life was almost exhausted, but once he ate Qingyi's essence, a strong life force exuded from his body and he became much more energetic. He looked at Sima Yue and was interrupted by her before he could speak. Father, you should rest first. Sima Lu Xian felt that the majestic life force in his body was nourishing his dried-up internal organs. He knew that he was seriously injured, so he suppressed all his emotions and came out from Huang Yingying's arms. He sat cross-legged and started to rest. Huang Yingying and the rest saw that their son's condition was much better and asked, what did you feed him just now? Is his injury really okay? Father used too much of his life force. Qingyi and Little Seven's essence is only replenishing his life force. His injury, we have to wait for him to recover before we can confirm it. Sima Yue said. Their essence is so useful? Sima Lufeng asked. Yes, they are. Someone is coming? Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue looked up and saw Wei Mingdai flying over with Wu Man and the other three. Wei Mingdai glared at them, the anger in her eyes seemed to burn Yue. Chapter 1370. Wei Mingdai stopped not too far away. She glanced at Sima Luxian who was on the ground and shifted her gaze back to Sima Yue. You're not called Si Qin, she said with certainty. Everything she had sensed before was enough to prove that she had been played by this little girl. She thought about how she had trusted her and brought her here, but she had actually lied to her. You're right, my name is not Si Qin. Sima Yue stood in front of Sima Luxian and said, I'm Sima Yue, Sima Luxian's daughter. Sima Yue. Sima Yue. You are Sima Yue. Wei Mingdai had naturally heard of Sima Yue's name because it was one of the two names he mentioned the most. I really didn't expect you to be his daughter. It's laughable that I brought you here personally. It's a pity that I can't say thank you. Sima Yue looked at Wei Mingdai coldly. If she hadn't tried to force her father to stay, her father wouldn't have been forced to come here. He wouldn't have had to resort to such a self-harming method, and he wouldn't have ended up like this. That head of white hair stung her eyes, and that lifeless body stimulated the hatred in her heart. Originally she had only planned to save him and leave. Now she had to properly avenge her father. How could you be his child? You don't have his bloodline aura at all. Wu Man also looked like she had suffered a blow. Seeing her like this, Wei Mingdai believed that she didn't know about this. Of course you won't be able to sense my father's bloodline aura, Sima Yue said as she retracted her dark spiritual energy and released her light spiritual energy. My mother is a member of the Ghost Clan. What I had before was naturally my mother's bloodline aura. When she returned to her usual appearance, the bloodline aura was almost the same as Sima Luxian behind her. There was no need to say anything else. This was enough to prove her identity. Behind her, Sima Luxian's aura fluctuated a little, but it immediately returned to normal. Good. Very good. Wei Mingdai was so angry that she laughed. In this world, those who dare to lie to me will never live to see the next day. Originally, I was planning to wait for you to rescue him before I made you the young city lord. If you didn't like it, I would give you a generous gift. Now, I will let you slowly experience the consequences of deceiving me. After saying that, she directly attacked with a burst of spirit energy. That speed was so fast that Sima Lufeng and the others couldn't react in time. Sister Yue. Xiao Tong shouted. However, Sima Yue stood there without any reaction. Even her expression did not change. Qi. When Wei Mingdai's attack neared Sima Yue, Wu Lingyu moved. He merely waved his hand and the attack was neutralized by him. How can this be? Who are you? Wei Mingdai knew the power of her attack. That Wu Lingyu looked like he was only 200 to 300 years old. How could he neutralize her attack? Wu Lingyu knew that Wei Mingdai was very powerful, so he no longer suppressed his own strength. Seeing his strength slowly increasing, everyone widened their eyes in shock. Damn, is this guy really the holy son of the Sage Pavilion? Sima Lufeng cried out in disbelief. It's obvious, he's not. Sima Luyun couldn't remain calm. How could the holy son of the Sage Pavilion have such powerful strength? Devil Qi. Sima Xiu frowned. The way he looked at Wu Lingyu and Sima Yue changed. No one knew what he was thinking. You're from the Devil Clan. Wei Mingdai also sensed it. Yu has been looking forward to reuniting with her father for so many years, but she didn't expect it to be like this. You contributed greatly, so I have to thank you on her behalf. Wu Lingyu said. Just based on you? The two of them started fighting. Wu Lingyu was afraid of hurting Sima Yue and the rest, while Wei Mingdai was afraid of destroying Sunset Mountain. The two of them flew into the sky with tacit understanding. A battle of their level was not something this world could handle. At first, Wei Mingdai didn't think much of him. With his bone age, even if she didn't know how to increase his strength, his battle power wouldn't be that strong. But very quickly she had no choice but to keep this thought away. Because she realized that not only was he not weak, his battle power was stronger than hers. It was as if he had been through hundreds and thousands of battles like this. The two of them fought in the sky. The remaining people didn't dare to slack off. Zhang Hao looked at Sima Yue like a poisonous snake. He sneered, I really didn't expect that you have so many people around you. Were you the one who did all those things in the south of the city? That's right. I did do those things. At this point, Sima Yue didn't hide it anymore and admitted it. Were you the one who killed Zhang Shua? Zhang Hao stared at her. If she was the one who killed him, Why didn't she receive any punishment from her oath? Not really. But after pulling out his claws, anyone can kill him. Sima Yue said, "Oh right, I'll return this to you." Wahua. Wahua came out. With a wave of her hand, Pang Yuan appeared in front of everyone. No wonder the Pang family's secret technique couldn't find his whereabouts. So he was captured by your contracted beast. Zhang Hao, you're an old fart who lived for thousands of years. You're so petty all the time. Don't you feel tired? Sima Yue was disgusted by Zhang Hao, who was always against her. Didn't you want to kill me? Then let's settle this today. Ha, you're just a little doll who just entered monarch rank. You want to fight me? Zhang Hao seemed to have heard a funny joke. But slowly he couldn't laugh anymore. Because the black fog slowly seeped out of Sima Yue's arm. As the manager of Ghost City, they knew this thing very well. This is that thing from the forbidden area. Why is it here? Zhang Hao's voice changed. If it was him who was dealing with Mi Er, he wouldn't have the confidence to do so. No wonder she didn't let Mi Er out when Wei Ming Dai was around. It was because she had a way to seal him. But now that Wei Ming Dai wasn't around, she let Mi Er out again. Don't call me that thing. My Mi Er has a name. Sima Yue said, Mi Er, didn't you always want to take revenge? Now that these people are in front of you, go. Sima Yue, we don't have any grudges against you. If you want to deal with Zhang Hao, we won't interfere. But, Sima Yue looked at Meng Sha. A wise man submits to circumstances. Although they were strong but in front of Mi Er, they didn't have much chance of winning. Since that was the case, they might as well find another way to survive. Alright, as long as you don't do anything, I'll let you off today, she promised. The two of them didn't do anything to her before. If she didn't have to offend them, she didn't have to kill them. Moreover, if she let Wu Man go, if she let the other two go as well, it wouldn't seem so abrupt. Chapter 1371. Seeing that they had reached an agreement just like that, Zhang Hao shouted at Meng Sha, Meng Sha, what is the meaning of this? What else could it mean? Meng Sha sneered. You're the one who created this mess. Don't tell me you want to drag us down with you? From the beginning to the end, you were the one who wanted to kill her, not us. Even if that's the case, you should take them down together. Don't forget, they lied to the city lord and wanted to take this person away. The city lord will definitely let us kill them. Aren't you afraid that the city lord will blame you when he returns? Zhang Hao questioned. When Meng Sha and the others heard this, they frowned and wavered. That will depend on whether you can survive until Wei Ming Dai returns. Sima Yue sneered. Let's not talk about whether she can come back. Even if she does, you're dead. Do you think she can save you? Meng Sha took a step back to show his attitude. He would not participate in this matter. Luo Qi hesitated for a moment and made the same choice. Needless to say, Wu Man would definitely not help Zhang Hao. You guys. Zhang Hao didn't expect the final outcome to be like this. Flustered and exasperated, he wanted to pull them together again. If the three of them could hold that thing back for a while, he could take the opportunity to escape. But he didn't expect that they wouldn't help him at all. However, Sima Yue did not give him a chance to speak. You are thinking that if they help you, you can escape while they are fighting with Mi Er, right? Unfortunately, they won't help you at all. They won't give you the chance. What nonsense are you talking about? Zhang Hao shouted. He looked at Meng Sha and the others. As expected, their expressions became even uglier. If it was said that Meng Sha and the others were still somewhat hesitant before, then now they had already made their final choice. Regardless of whether Sima Yue was telling the truth or not, Zhang Hao was definitely capable of pulling someone down with him and escaping. Moreover, even if they joined in, they might not be able to defeat Mi Er. They were all people who had lived for thousands of years. Who wouldn't cherish their lives? Sima Yue had the intention to let them go. Why should they lose their lives because of someone like Zhang Hao? Don't listen to her nonsense. Zhang Hao still wanted to pull them together, but he only saw Meng Sha and the others retreat to the side with sullen faces. It seemed that he really did not intend to care about this matter. Zhang Hao, it seems like you're a failure as a person. Sima Yue said, if they were my friends, even if they knew that they couldn't win, they would still fight with me until the end. However, you ended up being betrayed by your friends and family. That's right, it's not surprising that someone as narrow-minded and selfish as you would end up like this. Mi Er, do it. Mi Er was already itching to give it a try. Not only did Zhang Hao lock him up, he even wanted to kill his master. The hatred in his heart was growing. It pounced towards Zhang Hao, but to its surprise, Zhang Hao didn't even put up a fight. He turned around and fled, trying to open up a spatial passageway as he flew. But no matter how he tried, the space didn't respond at all. Don't waste your energy. Lingyu has sealed the space here. There's no way to open the space tunnel. Sima Yue reminded him kindly. Zhang Hao was so angry that he stopped running. He turned around and used a spirit technique on Mi-Er. Mi-Er was split into two by the spirit technique, but it immediately merged back together and continued to surround him. Sima Yue saw that nothing happened to Mi-Er, so she stopped paying attention to him and turned around to look at Sima Lu Xian. He was absorbing Qing Yi and Little Seven's vitality. Although his body was getting better, his situation was still very dangerous. He'll be fine. Little Seven comforted her. Sima Yue hugged Little Seven and kissed her on the head, saying, "Thank you." "What's there to thank?" Little Seven was amused by Sima Yue's solemn thanks. "Yu's father is our father. We saved our own father, what's there to thank?" She and Qing Yi had been by her side for so long, but she had never thought of taking their virginity. It was only right for them to help her. Moreover, she was her contracted beast. Sima Xiu and the rest looked at Little Seven, curious about her and Qing Yi's identity. What Yue wanted to say just now was interrupted by these people. Little Seven felt their gazes and came out from Sima Yue's arms. She pounced into Huang Yingying's arms and said with a smile, "Grandpa, Grandma, don't think of eating Little Seven. Little Seven will be in pain." Huang Yingying was immediately charmed by her adorable look, and even half of the worry in her heart disappeared. "Whoever dares to eat you, Grandma will break their legs." "I knew it, Yu's Grandpa and Grandma must be very good." Little Seven acted coquettishly and didn't forget to flatter. But Huang Yingying and the rest really liked that look. "Grandma, don't worry, Qing Yi and I are here, Daddy will be fine." Little Seven comforted Huang Yingying, calling them Grandpa, Grandma and Daddy smoothly. "I also see that his condition has improved a lot," Huang Yingying said. When they first rescued Sima Lu Xian, his vitality was almost depleted. If it couldn't be replenished, it wouldn't work even if he ate healing pills. But now his condition was improving. Although they didn't know what would happen in the end, his life was definitely saved. Sima Yue saw Little Seven coaxing Huang Yingying so happily and laughed along. They were happy and harmonious here, but the other two people's thoughts were more complicated. Meng Sha and Luo Qi saw that she really ignored them, as if she really thought that they wouldn't do anything. "She trusts us," Wu Man said. "Or, she doesn't think that we can pose a threat to them," Meng Sha said. "Maybe it's both." Luo Qi looked at Sima Yu. He really didn't expect that such a young child would have so many powerful people around her. What's more, he didn't expect that she would quietly form a contract with the guy who made them all afraid. Zhang Hao's scream was heard. Everyone looked over and saw that his arm was chopped off by his other self. Everyone was shocked. How could there be two Zhang Haos? Who was the one who was injured? Mi-Er can imitate anyone and use the other party's spirit technique, as long as the other party has used it in front of him. This is an absolute imitation. Sima Yu voiced out, explaining their doubts. Absolute imitation? Everyone was shocked. Doesn't that mean that it can defeat everyone? That's not necessarily true. It's impossible for those who are too strong or whose spirit technique is too complicated. Sima Yu said. But it's not a problem for someone like Zhang Hao. Meng Sha and the rest were completely defeated. Zhang Hao's strength was similar to theirs. Didn't this mean that their result would be the same? At this moment they were glad that they made the right choice. Chapter 1372. Boom. Zhang Hao and Mi-Er's spiritual techniques clashed, and even this side was affected. Sima Xiu quickly set up a defense to prevent the movement over there from disturbing Sima Lu Xian, who was recuperating. It was unknown whether Zhang Hao was injured or angered by Mi-Er, but he spat out a mouthful of blood. It was clearly a spiritual technique that he had painstakingly learned, yet he had learned it just like that. Mi-Er, stop playing. Sima Yu urged. Mi-Er acknowledged and stopped teasing Zhang Hao. He returned to his original form and enveloped him. When he shrunk again, Zhang Hao was only left with a pile of bones. Sima Yu noticed that he had spent more time than when he was dealing with Zhang Hu. When Meng Sha and the other two saw this scene, their hearts were fiercely shocked. Originally, it wasn't that Zhang Hao was strong enough, but that Mi-Er didn't use any strength at all. They still felt a little sad when they thought about how someone they had known for thousands of years had died just like that. Bang! Something suddenly fell from the sky. Everyone focused their eyes and saw that it was a severed arm. Those slender fingers obviously belonged to a woman. Then a few more pieces of clothes fell down, followed by Wu Lingyu. Sima Yue saw that his face was very pale and went forward to support him, asking, "Are you injured? We're not at our peak right now. It's indeed a little difficult to deal with them." Wu Lingyu clutched his chest as the blood in his body churned. "Hurry up and eat some pills to heal your injuries." Sima Yue grabbed his wrist and checked his pulse. After understanding his current situation, she took out a pill and fed it to him. Wu Lingyu swallowed the pill and instantly felt much better. "Father will take some time to wake up. You should rest here first," Sima Yue said. Although she actually wanted him to go to the Little Realm or the Spirit Pagoda, these people were still here, so she could only settle for the next best thing. Okay. Wu Lingyu sat down and began to meditate. Meng Sha and the others looked at the severed limbs on the ground, then looked at Wu Lingyu, who was injured but still in good condition. What else did they not understand? Wei Ming Dai was killed by him. This result was too unexpected for them to digest for a while. Ghost City no longer had a city lord. If those people were to find out, how would they react? Furthermore, a manager had died. This ghost city would probably become chaotic, right? "Everyone, the show is over and the results are out. Can you all leave now?" Sima Yue asked. Wu Lingyu and Sima Lu Xian were healing, and she didn't want outsiders to be present. "Yue, it's not a good idea to let them recuperate here. Why don't we return to Ghost City?" Wu Man suggested. "There are so many people in Ghost City. No matter how many people we have, it will be troublesome to deal with them." Sima Yue said, "Ant-Man, it's not that I don't trust you, but my father and the rest are injured. I have to be careful. But we don't feel at ease leaving you here in Sunset Mountain." Sima Yue was stunned. She immediately understood what they were worried about. Mushan was related to the safety of Ghost City. If they did anything at Mushan, there would be a huge upheaval there. "Then you guys stay here and keep watch. We will leave in 2 days. But please don't disturb my father and the rest for these 2 days. Otherwise, don't blame me for not remembering our previous friendship." After saying that, she glanced at Meng Sha and Luo Qi. Although Meng Sha and the rest weren't happy with what she said, they were very strong now. 1 air was enough to make them wary, not to mention the others around her. These 2 days, Meng Sha and the rest were watching Yue and the rest from not far away. Wu Man had a good relationship with her before and could even talk to her. "Are you guys really leaving?" Wu Man brought Sima Yue to a slope. "Yes." Sima Yue said, "Although my father seems to be recovering his vitality, his strength hasn't recovered. So, I think his internal injuries should be very serious. Father is a human. This is the border between the human and ghost realms. It's not suitable for him to recuperate here." "That's true. But if you guys leave, you probably won't come here anymore," Wu Man said dejectedly. "I don't think so. We'll use other methods to go to the ghost realm. Moreover, with my father's condition, I think he won't go out in the near future." Sima Yue looked at Wu Man. She was actually a very good woman. She liked her father but never thought of possessing him or pestering him. "I hope he'll be fine." Wu Man looked at his white hair and was full of heartache. "Ant-Man, have you ever thought of fighting for him?" Sima Yue was really curious. If she liked someone, she should at least confess and fight for him. Even if she was rejected, she had tried hard. Wu Man shook her head faintly and said, "If it wasn't for these things, I might have tried when I met him. But when I saw him sacrificing his life to protect his relationship with your mother, I knew that even if I said it, the outcome would be the same. I might as well not say it. This way, if we meet again in the future, we can look at each other and smile, greet each other." Sima Yue didn't expect her to be so open-minded. But what she said made sense. Her father used such a method to reject Wei Ming Dai. Naturally, he wouldn't accept anyone else. If she forced herself to tell him about her feelings, it would only increase their troubles. "Alright, Ghost City should be in a mess now, right? Aren't the 3 of you in a hurry to go back and settle it? If we have to worry about everything, Ghost City is so big. How can we manage it?" Wu Man smiled. "We have capable people too. Wei Ming Dai and Zhang Hao are dead. What's going to happen to Ghost City in the future?" Sima Yue asked. "The City Lord's existence is to suppress that thing in the forbidden area. Since he's already contracted by you, there's no such threat. As for Zhang Hao's position, we can just find another person. You guys don't want to split the south of the city? What's there to split? Ghost City is so big. The 3 of us aren't greedy for power. We can't be bothered to care about Zhang family's mess. It's good to continue like this. Zhang family has so many enemies. Now that Zhang Hao has fallen, Zhang family will be miserable in the future. I think what Zhang family regrets the most is offending you. If they didn't offend her, Zhang Hao might not have died." Sima Yue smiled and didn't say anything. 2 days passed by in a flash. According to her prediction, Sima Lu Xian woke up. Wu Lingyu woke up before him. But because she was about to fall asleep, she looked very listless. Everyone will leave now. After today's farewell, we'll meet again. But I think you guys won't want to see me again. Sima Yue cupped her hands at them. She opened the teleportation array that Wu Man gave her and let everyone in. Chapter 1373. As Sima Yue and the rest were not heading towards the other world, they did not encounter any lightning tribulations. When they came out again, they were already at the exit. The southern desolation swamp is in front. Sima Lu Yun said, "Bring them to the little realm first." They were referring to Wu Lingyu and Sima Lu Xian as well as Third Mo and Di Wu. One of them was about to fall asleep, and the other three had not recovered from their injuries. When they went out, there would be a spatial compression which would not be good for the two of them. Sima Yue nodded and said, "You can all go in. Take care of them while you're at it." "All right." Sima Yue opened the little realm and let everyone in. She went out alone. When she passed through that layer of space, she felt an obvious pressure. When the pressure disappeared, she had already walked out of the range of the mountain. She looked back and saw the sun setting in the west. The sun sets in the west, humans and ghosts are connected. "One day I will go to the other side of Ghost City," she muttered. "I miss you actually came back alive." A surprised voice came from the swamp below her. She looked down and saw that it was the little Loach she had seen when she first came here. "Miss, you've been gone for 2 to 3 years. I thought you wouldn't be able to come out." Little Loach wasn't afraid of Sima Yue and started chatting with her. 2 or 3 years. "That's right, you've been in there for 2 to 3 years. What's wrong? You don't know?" Little Loach saw how surprised she was and wondered if she had lost her memory. Sima Yue thought about it. She had stayed in Ghost City for 3 to 4 months, but 2 to 3 years had passed outside. It seemed that the flow of time inside and outside was different. "I understand. Thank you, Little Loach." Sima Yue thanked Little Loach. Then he took out the teleportation array, activated it, and entered. "I didn't do anything." Little Loach didn't know why this person apologized to him before leaving. He couldn't understand the thoughts of humans. The spirit beasts in the swamp were still the most naive. However, she was the only one who came out of so many people. It seemed that those people were all dead. She must have lost her mind. Little Loach thought as it swam away. When Sima Yue came out again, she was already in the nearest city outside Heartbreak Valley. She found a place and released everyone. After Xiao Tong came out, he said to Sima Yue, "Sister Yue, I have completed the task that Master gave me. I have to go back now." "Why are you in such a hurry?" Sima Yue did not expect him to leave as soon as he returned. "Master's health isn't good. It's better for me to return early," Little Helper said. "If that's the case, I won't keep you any longer. Take this communication stone. If you need anything in the future, look for me," Sima Yue said. "All right. This is a thank you gift. Without your help, I wouldn't have been able to save my father." Sima Yue took out the communication stone and a small box and passed them to Little Helper. "How can that be? We already agreed on this matter." Little Helper wanted to reject it but was stopped by Sima Yue. "You will need it," Sima Yue said. "Besides, some friendships can't be settled with a transaction." "All right then. Thank you, Sister Yue." Little Helper kept the items and activated the one-time teleportation array before walking in. When he appeared in the divination room, Yin Lin, who was recuperating, felt it. Not long later, Little Helper's voice sounded outside his door. "Master Disciple is back. Come in." Little Helper pushed the door open and bowed when he saw Yin Lin. "Master Disciple did not disappoint you. It's been hard on you." Yin Lin nodded. "What gift did she give you?" "Is this?" Disciple didn't have time to take a look. "Master, can't you calculate it?" Little Helper was a little surprised. Didn't Master only need to sense for such a small matter? Could it be that his injuries worsened? That shouldn't be the case. They used the teardrop mineralite that Yue gave him. Master's injuries should be better. "I can't calculate this gift," Yin Lin said. "Then open it and you will know." Little Helper opened the box and was shocked when he saw what was inside. "Master, it's a teardrop mineralite." Teardrop mineralite. Yin Lin was also very surprised. Little Helper turned the box around and there was indeed a teardrop mineralite lying inside. "I didn't expect Sister Yue to have a teardrop mineralite. Master, with this, your injuries can be completely healed. It can even increase your lifespan," Little Helper said excitedly. "It seems that everything is fated." Yin Lin seemed to feel something and said, I'm afraid that I can't cut off my entanglement with her. Master, didn't you say that Sister Yue is a person of great luck? Even if it's related, it's still a good thing. Little Helper didn't share his worries. Besides, after interacting with Sister Yue, she's a very good person. She's a friend worth making. Lin looked at the smile on his face and suddenly an image appeared in front of him. PFFF, Little Helper, a long sword pierced through Little Helper's heart from behind. Sima Yue's voice came from not far away. She was running towards him but she couldn't catch his falling body. The image disappeared in a flash. Lin looked at Little Helper with a dark gaze and said, "What if she brings disaster to you? Master, didn't you ask her to take care of me? This means that she might not bring disaster to me." Little Helper was very open-minded. If something really happens in the future, then it's my fate. Lin opened his mouth but didn't say anything. He waved his hand and asked him to leave. Fate? Ha! Perhaps he should let things take their natural course. Even if he forcefully changed things, there might not be a better outcome. On the other side, Sima Yue brought everyone to Memory Restaurant. When the manager of Memory Restaurant saw Sima Yue, his eyes lit up and he quickly came forward to bow. However, he was stopped by Sima Yue with a wave of her hand. "Manager, arrange a courtyard for me. The courtyard at the back has always been tidied up. Deputy Valley Lord, please follow me." The manager brought them to the courtyard at the back. Because Sima Yue had considered this situation, every Memory Restaurant had a separate courtyard at the back. "Deputy Valley Lord, the Valley Lord has instructed me to report back immediately if there is any news about you," the manager said. Go ahead." Sima Yue said, "Other than Feng and Old Bai, if anyone else comes, tell them that I'm not back yet." "Yes, Deputy Valley Lord." The manager accepted the order and left. Sima Yue brought Sima Lu Xian into the house to lie down. Although his body had recovered a lot, he was still very weak. "Father, let me check your body." She went to check his pulse as she spoke. Sima Lu Xian grabbed her hand and said, "Check it later. Let father take a good look at you first." Chapter 1374. Previously he had been in a daze. Otherwise he would be in the little realm. They were worried about his health, so they didn't have a good chat. He really didn't expect that the one who came to save him would be his own daughter. When he left, she was still a baby. In the blink of an eye, she was already a slender and elegant young lady. Moreover, she was such a powerful girl. Well, he had ignored all the other people who had saved him, including his parents. Sima Yue sat beside the bed and said, "Father, you've only just recovered your life force. I still have to check your body and prescribe some pills to heal you. Moreover, in your current state, it's better for you to speak less. Let's have a good chat after you've recovered, okay?" Sima Lu Xian looked at her face that was 70% similar to Yu Kaluo's and nodded subconsciously. Sima Yue smiled. She pulled her hand out and grabbed his wrist again to check his pulse. Her smile did not change, but her eyebrows were slightly furrowed. "Child, how is your father?" Huang Yingying stood at the side and asked worriedly. Sima Yue let go of Sima Lu Xian's hand and said, "Father's life is in our hands now. As for his injury, it's hard to say. Injuries can be slowly healed as long as you're alive." Huang Yingying heaved a sigh of relief. Sima Xiuqi looked at Sima Yue and his eyes flashed. Sima Yue then gave Sima Lu Xian a pill and 2 drops of soul fluid. She gave him a few needles to relieve his injuries and put him to sleep before everyone left together. "Yue, come here. Grandpa has a few questions for you," Sima Xiuqi said to Sima Yue the moment he came out. The serious look on his face made the others nervous and they all followed him. Sima Yue could already guess what he was going to ask her. "How is your father's situation?" Sima Xiuqi asked. "Tell us the truth." Sima Yue sighed in her heart. Indeed, she could not hide it from him. "Father's life is indeed not in danger now," she said. But what?" Huang Yingying grabbed her hand. "Father's meridians have been completely corroded by the death aura because he had been forcefully absorbing it for a long time. His spiritual sea was also completely dried up. Even if he survives now, I'm afraid he won't be able to cultivate when he recovers." Sima Yue said. "What?" Huang Yingying fell backwards at once and was caught by Sima Yue. Sima Xiuqi, who was by the side, also felt the need to support her. "Yu, your father can't cultivate anymore?" Sima Lu Feng and the others couldn't accept this fact. He was once an influential figure of his generation, but now he was told that he would be a piece of trash in the future. How could he accept this? Based on the current situation, I can't be completely sure. But according to my investigation, the possibility is very high. Sima Yue said. If can't cultivate. Huang Yingying's heart ached for her son as she leaned weakly against her husband. At least his life was saved. Our efforts were not in vain. Sima Xiuqi was more open-minded. However, I'm afraid you're the only one who can talk to Xian. Sima Yue nodded. If her father really couldn't cultivate, then perhaps she, as his daughter, would be his consolation. Grandma, don't be too sad. I'll go back and flip through those ancient books. Maybe I can find a way to cure father. Sima Yue comforted. Is there a way? Everyone heard her say this and suddenly had hope. I don't dare to say if there's really a way. I need to see how father's body recovers and see if there are any similar records in the ancient books. Sima Yue said. Seeing Huang Yingying's sad expression, she couldn't bear it and continued, but I think that the possibility is still quite high. The world is so big and there are so many mysterious creatures. Maybe there's a way to solve this problem. Really? Huang Yingying seemed to have seen a glimmer of hope as she held her hand even tighter. Grandma, I can only say that I'll try my best. Sima Yue didn't dare to make a promise. But she thought so too. The world was so big and everything had its counter. Maybe there was something that could cure him. Then when will your father get better? Sima Luyan asked. If it's just his body without spiritual energy to protect it, it might take half a year for him to fully recover. Sima Yue said, but to confirm if he can be cured, it will take 1 to 2 years. That's so long. Then child, are you coming home with us? Huang Yingying asked. Grandma, I still have things to do. It's not convenient for me to go back now. Once I'm done, I'll go back to see you. In the end, she still didn't want to go back now. Forget it. There's no rush to make a decision now. Let's wait until your father wakes up. Sima Xiuqi knew that his granddaughter was stubborn. It was useless to force her. It would have the opposite effect instead. Once she thought it through, she would naturally go back. But he didn't know if that old man at home would be furious when he knew about this result. Everyone is tired. Go back and rest. Sima Yue said, I'll inform you if there's any news about father. Okay. I'll stay and take care of him. Huang Yingying said. Then I'll come along too. Sima Xiuqi said. Okay. Even at their age, their children were still children in their eyes. Everyone found their own rooms to rest. Sima Yue went to check on Third Mo's injuries, then went to check on Di Wu. Di Wu's performance that day really made her look at him in a new light. Seeing that he had such serious injuries, he could only lie on the bed. After settling him down, she let him lie alone in the house. Di Wu was resting. He opened his eyes when he sensed her coming in. Young miss, is your father all right? We're not sure yet. Let me check on you. Sima Yue walked over and sat by the bed. She held his hand and started checking. He's recovering quite well. With pills, he'll be fine in a few days. Thank you, young Mississippi. Di Wu looked at the hand on his wrist and blushed. What are you thanking me for? I should be thanking you. Sima Yue said, if it wasn't for you, father wouldn't have been saved. He even caused you to suffer such serious injuries. This is what I should do. To be able to do things for young miss, I can boast to my brothers when I go back. Di Wu smiled. You're still thinking about this at this time. Sima Yue glared at him. All right, recuperate well and get better soon. When you're better, I'll cook something nice for you. Chapter 1375. After Sima Yue saw Di Wu, she went to the little realm to see Wu Lingyu. At this time he had already fallen asleep. He was very relieved to be in her place. Sima Yue looked at his sleeping face and kissed him gently. But this time he didn't wake up. He laughed and teased her for stealing a kiss. She checked his pulse and made sure that he was only asleep. Only then did she relax. However, because he had used his spiritual energy before falling asleep this time, and it had been such a fierce battle, he didn't know when he would wake up this time. In order to observe him better, she brought him into the spirit pagoda. Here, as long as he felt the slightest discomfort, she would know in time. After making sure that he was fine, she went to the place where the books were stored and began to quickly search for medical books to see if she could find any related books. Other than Little Roar, all the other beasts transformed into their human forms and helped her to search for similar cases. However, after searching through thousands of books, they did not find a single one. Was there really no other way? Sima Yue was a little disappointed, but she did not intend to give up. No matter what, she had to find a way to restore her father's strength. If it were anyone else, they would have died long ago after being soaked in the death aura for decades. There are no such examples, which means that your father is very powerful. Don't be discouraged. Qing Yi was more knowledgeable and comforted her. Sima Yue nodded. I won't give up. I will find a cure for my father. Not here, I'll look for it somewhere else. The world is so big, someone is bound to know. And then we will accompany you. Little Seven said. It's a pity that Qing Yi and I can't do anything about this kind of injury. Otherwise we can just use our R in essence blood. Sima Yue patted Little Seven's head. Thank you. With you guys around, I'm never alone. It's great. Hey Yu, there are so many books here. If you don't have time, leave them all to us. Little Roar giggled as he said. Sima Yue grabbed Little Roar's neck and said, the one who has the least right to say this is you. Who else hasn't transformed yet? I don't want to transform right now. Little Roar blinked his large eyes in grievance. My injuries haven't healed yet. Stop it. Others don't know, I know it. Your injuries have healed long ago, but you just don't want to transform. What? Sima Yu mercilessly exposed its lies. You being struck by lightning, it's so painful. You will. But my hair's hair, I'll become bald. I don't. So ugly. Little Roar complained. You. This is the real reason why you want to transform, right? Sima Yu used her other hand to poke its head. Little Roar's 4 little legs were curled up together as he looked pitifully at Sima Yu. I really lose to you. She placed it on the table. It likes its own fur so much. When we go back, let's take a pair of scissors and cut it off. Little Seven said with a smile. Dawns? Little dreams save me. Little Roar saw Little Seven sharpening his knife and immediately jumped into Little Dream's embrace. Little Meng hugged Little Roar. Seeing that he was trembling in fear, she smiled. Who asked you to care so much about your hair? You can bleed and break your head, but you can't mess up your hairstyle. Do you understand? Little Roar poked his head out from her embrace. If you want to cut my hair, I'll go on a hunger strike. Oh, are you threatening us? Everyone laughed. Ling Long, come. Transform into a pair of scissors. Let's see if he'll really go on a hunger strike since he likes to eat so much. Okay. Ling Long was very cooperative. She shook her body and transformed into a pair of sharp scissors. Little Roar screamed when he saw Little Seven holding a pair of scissors. Little Meng, save me. Woo, I don't want to become a scab. He hugged Little Meng even tighter. Hee. Little Meng laughed. Alright, stop teasing him. He's trembling like a sieve. Only you pamper him. Little Seven looked helplessly at Little Meng. Ever since she regained her memories, she had changed a lot. Only Little Roar could make her laugh. Back then the rose garden was still there. Every time Little Dream was tormented by her memories, she would go to the rose garden and smell the fragrance of the flowers. She would recall the scene of Little Roar's fat body using his claws that had yet to transform, holding Yu's precious heaven's halberd, and squatting on the ground to dig a hole for her to plant roses. Her mood would be much better. That was why she pampered Little Roar a little more. Woo, Little Seven and Ling Long are so bad. Little Roar complained. Little Seven is just joking with you. How could I really cut it for you? Little Meng said. I'm serious. Everyone wants to see this guy go on a hunger strike. Little Seven waved the scissors in her hand. Want to see? Little Golden, who couldn't even speak properly, ran over to join in the fun. Even Little Golden bullies me. Little Roar was sad. Other than Little Meng, no one else helped him. Ha, everyone laughed. Little Golden coiled around Sima Yu's wrist and stuck out its tongue at Little Roar. That little gaze was very obvious. It wanted to bully you. Sima Yu's mood was much better from the beast's antics. At this moment, Little Spirit said to her, someone is here to look for you. Then I'll go out. I'll leave the books here to you guys. Sima Yu said. You don't worry. The moment Sima Yu went out, she heard a knock on the door. She opened the door and saw Shimin Feng, Bai Sheng and the rest outside. Sister. Shimin Feng's voice was still travel-worn. Boss. And I and the rest were very happy to see her. Sima Yu didn't expect Feng Ji and the other 10 brothers to come too. She said, why are you all here? Is there no one in the valley? When we got the news that you were back, we were all together. They were all clamoring to come and see you. Shimin Feng explained. Where did you all rush over from? Sima Yu saw that they were a little tired. Let's go to the living room. She brought them to the living room and personally brewed a cup of tea for each of them. She said, this tea can help you concentrate and get rid of fatigue. Thank you, boss. Everyone drank a mouthful of the tea she brewed. Indeed, they felt much more awake. Why do you all look so tired? Sima Yue returned to her seat and drank a mouthful of tea. We are currently suppressing Huaiyang Palace and Zhongzheng clan. Now is the crucial time, so we are a little busy. Shimin Feng said. Did you find your father this time? I did find him, but the situation isn't very good. Sima Yue said. Let's not talk about this first. Tell me about the current situation in the valley. Chapter 1376. In the 3 years that you were not here, we have already disintegrated their economy, and now it's time to close the net. Shimin Feng said, their economy has been tight this year, and they are about to go bankrupt. Thank you for your hard work. Sima Yue did not expect them to be able to handle things so well in such a short time. It showed how much effort they had put in these days. No wonder they looked so tired despite being cultivators. Boss, it's good that you're back. We were worried that you wouldn't be able to return before the final battle. And INE said. Actually, I only stayed in Ghost City for 3 to 4 months. It's just that time passes slower there. Sima Yue said. Boss, why don't you tell us what the Ghost City is like? We can go and play in the future. Dai Yi said with a grin. Forget about it. If you guys go, you might not be able to come back. Sima Yue said. It can't be. Are all the people inside so powerful? It's not about whether I'm powerful or not. It's just that I killed their city lord and a steward. If you go, you might be targeted for revenge. You even killed their city lord? What? Could it be that he wants to force you to be his mistress? She's a woman. Sima Yue said. However, she wanted to snatch my father away and forced him into this state. Killing her is already letting her off lightly. When she thought of her father's appearance, her tone turned cold. Who would have thought that something like this would happen? Sima Yue then told them about Sima Luxian in Ghost City. Everyone present was full of respect for Sima Luxian. Sister, you don't have to worry about the matters in the valley. Just focus on saving your father. We'll let you know when the final battle begins. Shimin Feng said. That's right, boss. You just have to participate in the final battle and see how they are destroyed with your own eyes. Although they didn't know that Sima Yue was Shimin Yue, they knew that she hated these two forces. She could teach them everything in the beginning, but she definitely had to participate in the final battle. Otherwise, she would regret it for the rest of her life. All right, thank you for your hard work. Sima Yue did not refuse. It was indeed more important to treat her father now. But don't work too hard. This isn't something that can be done in a day or two. We understand. Just wait for our good news. Just let me know if you need anything. I'll do my best to help you, Sima Yue said. Don't worry, we will tell you if we need anything. Shimin Feng said. They knew what Sima Yue was capable of. If they really needed her help, they would definitely ask her for help. After that, they talked about the situation in the valley. Although she was a hands-off boss, she still knew what she needed to know. Shimin Feng and the others stayed here for a day, and left early in the morning of the second day. Now was the most crucial time, and if they all left, there would be no one to oversee this place. Sima Luxian also woke up after sleeping for a day. With the treatment from Sima Yue's system, he recovered much faster than just taking pills. He could even lift his hands and feet. Sima Yue pierced silver needles all over his body. Being naked in front of his own child made him, who was always calm, a little shy. Seeing the faint blush on his face, she smiled in her heart. She didn't expect her father to be so shy. She removed the needles and covered him with a quilt. Then she picked up the porridge that Huang Yingying had just brought in and sat by the bed, ready to feed him. My injury, will it never recover? Sima Luxian asked. Sima Yue was stunned. Sure enough, she knew his body best. Father, do you know what I'm most thankful for? She didn't answer but asked instead. What is it? I'm thankful that I was able to rush to Ghost City in time. I'm also thankful that you're still alive and that I can see you again. This let me know what my father looks like. I've been thinking about him for decades. Although Grandpa and the others are very good to me, I can't help but think, what do my parents look like? If they were by my side, would they love me like other parents love their children? Would they spoil me? Or would they scold me with a straight face when I make a mistake? So, father is still alive. To me, I found half of my happiness. When I find my mother, I'll be satisfied. Sima Yue's face lit up with a happy smile. It's been hard on you all these years, child? Sima Luxian said guiltily. Although it was because of the situation at that time, he still felt sorry for not being able to accompany her as she grew up. From her words, he got the answer he wanted. If he really couldn't recover, then he would spend the rest of his days with her, love her, and watch her grow up. Father, no matter what you look like, you're still my father. Sima Yue freed a hand to hold his hand, and you have to believe me, your daughter's medical skills are very good. I'll definitely cure you. You're so narcissistic, you're really like your mother. Sima Lu Xian said with a smile. All right, father won't ask any more. I'll believe you wholeheartedly. No matter whether you can be cured or not, father will accompany you. I'm a happy child with father by my side. Sima Yue said, come, I'll feed you porridge. Sima Lu Xian didn't like to eat liquid food, but it was another matter if it was his daughter who fed him. Father, you have no spiritual power in your body now, so you have to eat. You're injured, so you can only eat liquid food. Sima Yue explained while feeding him. Grandma said you don't like to eat liquid food, but there's no other way now. I cooked this porridge myself and asked Grandma to bring it in when it's time. Therefore you must finish this bowl. All right. No matter what his daughter's request was, he must satisfy it. In fact, Sima Yue didn't give him much to eat, only half a small bowl. After eating, she chatted with him for a while. Most of the time, it was her talking while he listened. She told him about her past experiences as well as the things she had heard from others. Sima Lu Xian's heart was filled with emotions when he heard about her. His precious daughter had suffered so much in order to become stronger. Although she only mentioned the good things, he understood that no matter who it was, to grow into someone who could make the whole continent tremble in such a short period of time, they had to put in a lot of effort and hardships. He was proud of her and his heart ached for her. By the way, father, the seal in my body was sealed by grandfather, right? Sima Yue asked. Yes. Uncle Lu Feng and the others said that after I spoke, both of you were emptied of spiritual power. What happened? Chapter 1377. At first, she had thought that their spiritual power had dried up because they had sealed her. But since her seal was given to her by the old man, how could they be like that? Sima Lu Xian was silent for a while, as if he was recalling what happened at that time, but also as if he didn't want to mention it. After a long while he finally spoke. Not long after your mother became pregnant, we discovered that she had been poisoned. We've been investigating for a long time. Your uncle Lu Feng and the others also helped to investigate, but we couldn't find anything. At that time, they said that it was best not to have you because they were afraid that her body would not be able to take the pregnancy. However, she insisted on giving birth to you. Later, during the delivery due to the poison, it was difficult to give birth. Because you have two types of spiritual energy during the delivery, I injected my spiritual energy into your body to ensure that you were born smoothly. However, your mother and I have both exhausted our spiritual energy because of this. I didn't expect those things to happen later on. If that's the case, the poison came from my mother's womb. Sima Yue mumbled, Dad, thank you for giving me life. How was the poison in your body cured? Sima Lu Xian asked. Back then they didn't even find out what it was, so how did she solve it? At the time I was still young. I met a mysterious person. He was very interested in the poison in my body. Then he cured me. After that, I don't know where he went. Sima Yue thought about it and decided not to tell him the truth. She did not know if they could accept it. Then we should really thank him. Sima Lu Xian said, Do you know who he is? I don't know. He said that he traveled there and was interested in the poison in my body. I also gave her something good as a thank you gift. Father, you don't have to worry about this. Sima Yue said. If I see him in the future, I still have to thank him. Sima Lu Xian said. Okay. Sima Yue did not expect him to be so stubborn. Actually, he couldn't be blamed for being stubborn. It was just that this matter affected her too much. She originally thought that she would live a peaceful life until she grew old. She didn't expect that someone would cure her of the poison and allow her to cultivate. Father, I once heard from Master that the three of you traveled together, but he didn't go into detail. Tell me about your situation, maybe I can figure out who did this to you. She changed the topic. Master? Are you talking about Feng Zhixing? He actually became your master? Sima Lu Xian was slightly angry. How could that guy accept you as his disciple without my permission? How hateful. When I see him, I must properly question him. Master is very good to me. Sima Yue remembered that they were love rivals, so she smiled and said, I think he wants to see you too. All right, father, tell me about it. All right. Sima Lu Xian told her about the past and Sima Yue sorted it out according to what he said and really sorted out a few suspects. But she didn't intend to tell him now. She just silently remembered it and would investigate it later when she had time. Father, have a good rest. I'll refine pills for you. Sima Yue wiped the corner of his mouth and got up. Don't be too tired. Sima Lu Xian urged. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Sima Yue finished and left. But she didn't go to refine pills after she went out. Instead, she left Memory Restaurant. Before she went out, she asked about the location of Shenyuan Pavilion. She hadn't been there for so many years. She didn't know if her things were still useful. She went to Shenyuan Pavilion alone and a waiter immediately came forward to greet her. "Young miss, what can we do for you?" Sima Yue took out the token that Jun Song gave her and said, "I want to see your shopkeeper, can I?" When the waiter saw the token, his expression immediately changed from polite to respectful. He bowed slightly to her and said, "The shopkeeper is upstairs, please follow me." "Thank you." Sima Yue kept the token and followed him upstairs. The waiter took her to the innermost room upstairs and knocked on the door. After getting permission, he pushed the door open and said, "Shopkeeper, young Miss Yue is here." The shopkeeper stood up from his seat. When he saw Sima Yue coming in from behind, he hurried to the front and bowed. "Jun sure greets young Miss Yue." Sima Yue was a little surprised that they knew her identity at once. When young Miss Yue regained her female identity, "We already received the news and knew young Miss identity," Jun sure said. Sima Yue didn't expect that they would still remember her identity after not looking for them for so many years. "I came this time because I have something to ask of you," Sima Yue said. "Young miss, please say." "I know that Shenyuan Pavilion sells information, right?" Sima Yue asked. "Yes." "What information does young miss want to know?" Jun sure asked. Sima Yue came to the table, picked up the pen on the table and quickly wrote a few names. "Shopkeeper Jun, I want you to help me investigate these people. The focus is more than 50 years ago. I think you should know where to investigate." Jun sure looked at the names and said, "These people are all young miss of the big powers in the inner regions or proud disciples of the sections. Why does young miss want to investigate them?" 50 years ago, when my mother was pregnant, she found out that she was poisoned. Sima Yue said, "I want you to help us investigate what these people were doing 50 years ago and who they were in contact with. I want all the information about them, no matter how big or small. As for the reward, I will pay you according to your usual fees." "There is no need for the reward," Jun sure said. "If there is news, we will immediately inform young Mississippi. This matter is not easy to handle. After all, it was 50 years ago and their identities are not ordinary. If you want to investigate, you will have to spend a lot of energy," Sima Yue said. "The higher-ups have ordered that no matter what young miss requests, we must satisfy them," Jun sure said respectfully. Although he did not know why the higher-ups ordered this, the people below them only had the right to execute. "Is that so?" Sima Yue muttered. They must be doing this because of Jun Song's orders, and Jun Song was so good to her because of Feng Ruyen. Thinking of Feng Ruyen, she then remembered that she did not come to her for a checkup at the appointed time. Could it be that something happened? She did not know if she could contact her. "Then if you have news, send it to me. You should know my whereabouts. If you don't, then go to Memory Restaurant." "Okay. Once there is news, we will immediately send someone to send it to you." "Okay, be careful not to let them notice." Sima Yue especially instructed before leaving Shenyuan Pavilion. This book came from Chapter 1378. In fact, in the past 2 years, Heartbreak Valley had also begun to collect intelligence, but compared with the veteran Shenyuan Pavilion, it was still too far behind, and they had not yet entered the inner circle. What she wanted to investigate was too difficult. It was estimated that only the Shenyuan Pavilion could give it a try, and now she was not sure if she could find any information. After returning from Shenyuan Pavilion, she locked herself in her room and tried to communicate with Feng Ruyen's shadow in her Sea of Consciousness for the first time. In the Sea of Consciousness, Feng Ruyen only frowned slightly. Her eyes moved but didn't open. Then it became quiet again. Sima Yue exited the room. She did not know if she had contacted her. A day later, she gave Sima Lu Xian an injection and came out. As soon as she reached the courtyard, she seemed to have sensed something and turned her head to look at the courtyard. She saw a woman suddenly appear. "Auntie?" Sima Yue greeted her and bowed. "Did Auntie Feng receive my message?" This woman was the one who had come to congratulate him when he founded the sect. He didn't expect her to come so soon. Previously, the person who came to take the pill didn't come again, saying that he could refine it himself, but that time it wasn't this woman. Therefore, this was definitely someone who followed beside Feng Ruyen. Feng Lingxi helped her up and said, "Master sensed that you were looking for her, so she asked me to ask if something had happened." "Actually, it's nothing. I just thought that Aunt Feng hasn't come for a checkup. I wonder how she is now." Sima Yue asked with concern. "Miss, don't worry. Master's condition is still relatively stable. It's just that he can't leave because he has something to do. Feng Lingxi said. That's good. She took out a book and said, this is the acupuncture technique that I usually write. I think that Aunt Feng should have someone with medical skills by her side. This research won't take much time. The next few pages are my acupuncture methods according to Aunt Feng's previous situation. If the condition has not changed, you can continue to follow this method. Feng Lingxi took the book. It was filled with handwritten words, hand-drawn acupuncture points, and so on. It's been hard on you. I will definitely pass this to Master. She nodded at Sima Yue. If it's possible, it's best to let Aunt Feng come over. It's better for me to check her injuries personally. I have thought of 2 new treatment plans, both based on her actual situation. Sima Yue said. Master is not in the primordial lands now. We will meet again when she comes back. The more Feng Lingxi looked at Sima Yue, the more she liked her. This child never asked Feng Ruyan's identity, nor did she use her love and reputation to do anything outside. She relied on herself. News of Sima Yue would be sent back every once in a while because they had to pay attention to her growth. They had to protect her because she was currently the one with the greatest hope of curing Feng Ruyan. So they all knew what she had been through and how hard she had worked. Other than that time when she was hurt by Little Tu's clansmen, Feng Ruyan had never relied on the Feng clan. She seemed to have never thought about it. You have never asked about Master's identity. Aren't you curious? Feng Lingxi asked. Aunt Feng is Aunt Feng. Her identity is her identity. I'm talking to Aunt Feng as a person, not because of her identity or her power. So, what does it matter who she is and what identity she has? Sima Yue smiled. Hee, good child. Feng Lingxi patted her head. When the time is right, you will know. I think so too. You haven't used the thing I gave you last time, right? Feng Lingxi said, now that you have reached the monarch rank, you can use it. Sima Yue remembered that Feng Lingxi gave her a box. She said that she could only open it when she reached the monarch rank. She was so busy that she forgot about it. Miss, that thing is very useful to you now. You can use it. Feng Lingxi said. Then she took out a box. Inside it was a crystal. Next time if you look for us, just inject spiritual energy into it. We will send someone over. If there's nothing else, I will go back first. Okay. Thank you, Aunt. Sima Yue knew that people like them were very busy, so she didn't keep her any longer. Feng Lingxi nodded at her and said that they would meet again before disappearing from the courtyard. Huang Yingying and the others came out of the house and saw Sima Yue alone in the courtyard. She asked, Child, who was that person just now? She is Aunt Feng's maid. Aunt Feng? Feng? Huang Yingying and Sima Xiuqi looked at each other. Both of them thought of something. She was so strong and had the surname Feng. Other than that family there was no one else. Do you know who your Aunt Feng is? Sima Xiuqi asked. I don't know. I didn't ask. I think she must be very powerful. Sima Yue said, however, I like Aunt Feng because I like her. It has nothing to do with her identity. Good child. Huang Yingying patted her head. Grandpa, Grandma, I want to go back to my room to get the herbs and read those ancient books. Sima Yue said. Go ahead. When Sima Yue went back, Huang Yingying asked, Say, is this Feng people the Feng people we know? To be able to appear and leave quietly, and only as a maid, other than that Feng people, there can't be anyone else. I didn't expect that Yue would be related to the Feng people. This child's luck is too good. I'm worried that she will carry too many things in the future. Huang Yingying said worriedly. You have to pay for what you get. There's nothing we can do about it. Sima Xiuqi sighed. Seeing her like this, I would rather she be ordinary. I don't know why, but when I think of her, I feel a little panicked. She should be fine. Sima Xiuqi hugged her shoulder and comforted her. I hope so. If anything happens, even if I have to risk my life, I will protect her. Sima Yue didn't know what Huang Yingying and the rest were thinking. After she entered the house, she set up a spirit barrier and entered the spirit pagoda. Yu, we haven't found any useful methods yet. Little Seven looked at Sima Yue and pouted. It's okay. You guys can slowly look for it. This can't be rushed. Sima Yue patted her head. These things should be done by her, but now her spirit beasts were helping her. She was already very grateful to them. Then why did you come in? Little Spirit asked. I came to take a look at God's scar. Sima Yue said. It's growing very well now. Come with me. Little Spirit said and brought her to the medicine field. Chapter 1379. This was the first time Sima Yue saw the divine scar after giving it to Little Spirit. At that time it was just a seed wrapped in the ring. When he saw it again, it was already a seedling that was more than 10 centimeters tall. Because it had been irrigated with her and the beast's blood, the seedlings emitted a faint smell of blood, but it was not fishy. Why is it still so small after so many years? Sima Yue made an estimation in her heart. It's been more than 30 years and it's only this tall? What do you know? Little Spirit glanced at her with eyes full of disdain. The divine scar's plants aren't tall to begin with. It should be said that all divine herbs are like this. And what do you mean by I've sped up the time here? It's not just 300 years. When will it bear fruit? Sima Yue asked. It has already come to fruition. Little Spirit said somewhat excitedly, I can already feel that there is a sprout. But it can't be seen with the naked eye. When will the fruit ripen? Sima Yue was more concerned about this. This god scar is different from others. It grows slowly in the early stages but it matures quickly after. It shouldn't take more than a few years. Little Spirit said. Then adjust the time even faster. It's best if we can get the fruit as soon as possible. Sima Yue said. Then I won't be able to observe its growth better. Little Spirit was unhappy. I'm waiting to use the fruits this time. You can refer to it next time. Your lifespan is endless anyway. Sima Yue said. Alright then. Little Spirit agreed. Her matter was still more important. Anyway, after picking the fruit, there would be another seed that would mature, and it would just have to plant it again. As long as it doesn't affect the efficacy of the medicine, it should be done as soon as possible, Sima Yue instructed. Alright. No problem. After that, Sima Yue went to see Wu Lingyu and then went to the alchemy room to refine some pills for Sima Lu Xian. Thinking of her father's situation, she sighed in her heart. Under such circumstances, her father was still able to keep Wei Ming Dai outside. This made her feel both admiration and heartache. What if he pretended to obey? She shook her head. If she really obeyed, even if everyone forgave him, he would never forgive himself. Since that didn't happen, there was no point in thinking about it. She took a deep breath and began to sort out the medicinal ingredients before refining the pill. In the following days, she treated Sima Lu Xian. After half a month, he was finally able to get out of bed. When he walked out of the room, he felt like he was about to burst into tears. Ever since he was young, he had never laid on his bed for so long. Every time he tried to move, his mother would glare at him and say, You're not allowed to get out of bed without Yoyue's permission. Then, when he turned his gaze to his precious daughter for help, she would always giggle and say, Father, I'm a doctor. Doctors have requirements for their patients. Are you trying to make things difficult for me? Alright, since he couldn't make things difficult for his precious daughter, he could only make things difficult for himself. After lying in bed for a month, he was finally able to get out of bed. However, in order to not tire him out, Yue went to find Fatty Chu to make a wheelchair for him. At the same time, she brought everyone out of the spirit pagoda. When they heard that Sima Yue had found her father, Sima Lai and the others stopped their seclusion and came to visit their benefactor. Without him, there wouldn't be a Sima family behind them. Sima Yue was chatting with Sima Lu Xian in the garden when she heard movement at the door of the courtyard. She looked over and saw Sima Lai and the others coming over. Because Sima Lai's strength continued to increase, he was getting younger and younger. He had gradually turned from an old man to a middle-aged man. Seeing Sima Lu Xian in a white robe and white hair sitting in a wheelchair, he stepped forward excitedly and bowed to him, Benefactor. Greetings, Benefactor. Sima Yuming and the others bowed to him as well. You don't have to call me Benefactor. You are Yoyue's grandfather and brother. Let's go by seniority. Sima Lu Xian smiled lightly. Uncle. Sima Yuming and the others readily accepted, but Sima Lai couldn't and insisted on calling him Benefactor. Grandfather, you are my grandfather. Father's seniority is 1 generation younger than you. But he is older than you, so it's not easy to differentiate. Why don't you just call him by his name? Anyway, we all have the same surname. Sima Yue said. How can I accept this? You helped me raise my daughter and taught her so well. I haven't even said I'm sorry for such a great kindness. Sima Lu Xian said. That's right, grandfather. You said that I call you grandfather, but you call my father Benefactor. Isn't this a mess? We are all cultivators, so we don't need to be so polite. In the end, under Sima Yoyue's insistence, the two of them finally called each other brothers. Although this was a little incongruous, it wasn't as good as the beginning. After a while, Fatty Chu and the others came in. Seeing the immortal-like person, Fatty Chu blurted out, Yue, your father is really good looking. Bei Gong Tang, who was at the side, hurriedly pulled him, indicating that he was too rude. Sima Yue was amused by Fatty Chu's reaction and said with a smile, "Don't you have any ideas about my father?" I wouldn't. What nonsense are you talking about?" Fatty Chu was embarrassed. Sima Yue turned to Sima Lu Xian and said, "Father, you don't know. I was dressed as a man at that time and he was in the same courtyard as me. When he saw me, it was as if he was guarding against a pervert. Isn't that so?" In the end, he was still bought over by Yue with a meal. Bei Gong Tang laughed. "How long ago was that? How do you still remember?" Fatty Chu glared at everyone. "Besides, aren't you all the same? At the beginning you were all cold as ice. In the end you were still subdued by Yue. So everyone is the same. The eldest brother doesn't talk about the second brother. I've heard about you guys from Yue. Thank you for taking care of her along the way." Sima Lu Xian was amused by them. The others in the courtyard also revealed many things about Sima Yue in the past. "Uncle, you're too polite. It should be Yue who has always been taking care of us." Bei Gong Tang and the others were embarrassed. Because of you guys, she wasn't lonely along the way. So no matter who took care of who, to be able to walk together for so many years, it must be fate between you guys. That's true." Suddenly, Sima Yue saw a waiter looking around the courtyard door, looking a little anxious. Because she had instructed not to let anyone into the courtyard to disturb her father's rest, they couldn't come in directly. She got up and walked over, asking, "What's wrong?" "Deputy Valley Lord," a few people came in front and mentioned the Divine Devil Valley. Their tone wasn't very good. "The shopkeeper asked me to invite you over." "Who are those people?" Sima Yue frowned. "They seem to be from Cloud Cave." Sima Yue narrowed her eyes. The people from Cloud Cave actually came to her territory to talk bad about the Divine Devil Valley? TXT download address. Mobile reading, book review. For the convenience of your next reading, you can bookmark the top of the book to record your reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Fanbone with thanks for your support. Chapter 1380. She waved her hand and had the waiter return first. Then she returned to the courtyard and said, "I have some matters to attend to, so I need to go to the front. Grandpa, if father is tired, please push him in. Don't let him leave by himself." "Alright, go ahead and do your work." They all saw the waiter looking for her. Something must have happened. "I'll go with you," Bei Gong Tang said. "All right." After they left the courtyard, Bei Gong Tang asked in a small voice, "Is uncle's body unable to recover? Otherwise, with her ability, how could he not be cured after so long?" "Yes. I haven't found a way to restore his cultivation yet. Because he doesn't have spiritual energy, his recovery is very slow," Sima Yue said. Bei Gong Tang grabbed her hand and comforted her. "I believe that you can do it. I also believe that I will find a way," Sima Yue said confidently. Bei Gong Tang nodded. She just knew that Yue wouldn't be discouraged. "By the way, how dare White Cloud D's people come here and cause trouble? You must be tired of living." Sima Yue took out the blood ring and put it on before walking out in large strides. "Deputy Valley Lord, they are in the private room upstairs. I've already asked the waiter to keep an eye on them," the shopkeeper said. "All right." Sima Yue walked up the stairs. With every step she took, she would think of what Bai Yundi did to the Divine Devil Valley. A long time ago she had injured her master, Old Man Devil, injuring his soul. Not only had his alchemy and cultivation stagnated, they had even regressed. When they were in the little realm of the Wenhai, White Cloud D had allied with the Sage Pavilion and wanted to kill everyone from the Divine Devil Valley in the little realm. It was just that they were unlucky to have met her, and in the end they were all wiped out. After that, White Cloud D colluded with that mysterious force and lured the Divine Devil Valley's elders to kill the valley's disciples. This was only what she knew. White Cloud D had been causing trouble for the Divine Devil Valley all these years. Originally, White Cloud D wasn't enough to be feared. According to Divine Devil Valley's usual style of doing things, they would have exterminated them long ago. But now that Bayun D had the support of that mysterious force, it would be troublesome to get rid of it now. Now that they knew that the owner of Memory Restaurant was the Junior Valley Master of Divine Devil Valley, they still dared to come here and spout nonsense. Did they not put her in their eyes, or did they not put Divine Devil Valley and Heartbreak Valley in their eyes? Did they really think that with the help of that mysterious force, they could sit back and do whatever they wanted? Vice Valley Lord. The waiter guarding the door bowed to her. Inside. Yes. You can go downstairs. Sima Yue waved at him, gesturing for him to go downstairs. She wanted to listen to the conversation inside, but she found that there was a barrier inside, so she couldn't hear anything at all. Thinking about it, when the waiter went to serve the dishes, he knocked on the door and heard them mentioning the Divine Devil Valley, then alerted the shopkeeper and informed her. Did they really think that they would be safe just because there was a barrier? She called out Little Roar to fuse with him, and the enchantment was useless to her. Isn't it? Does this Divine Devil Valley still think that they are the Divine Devil Valley of the past? After a period of time, when we destroy them, let's see if they can still be so arrogant. There are a lot of things in this Divine Devil Valley. When the time comes, we have to rush to the front and snatch as much as we can. Sima Yue's gaze darkened. To deal with the Divine Devil Valley? Lower your voices. Someone scolded. If something bad happens because of this, be careful of the consequences. Big brother, don't worry, isn't there a barrier that you set up? The people outside can't hear us. The person who spoke earlier said. That's right, big brother. Don't forget where we are. Isn't this the restaurant that Sima Yue opened? She has been missing for so long, maybe she is already dead. This Sima Yue is also powerful. Not only is she the Junior Valley Master of Divine Devil Valley, she is also the Vice Valley Lord of Heartbreak Valley. There is also the Divine Vermilion Bird. If it wasn't for her disappearance, the higher-ups wouldn't dare to touch the Divine Devil Valley. As long as the Divine Devil Valley is destroyed, even if she comes back, it will be useless. If I ask you to speak less, then speak less. Hurry up and eat, then leave. That big brother scolded. Sigh, the food in this memory restaurant is too delicious. Every time we can't resist the temptation and come here to eat. And the charge is so expensive. I don't know how many crystal stones we have contributed to them. This Heartbreak Valley actually dared to make a move on the Zhongzheng clan and Huayang Palace, didn't the higher-ups say so? While Sima Yue isn't here, after we destroy the Divine Devil Valley, we will deal with them. After Heartbreak Valley is destroyed, we will capture those chefs back and cook delicious food for us every day. That's a good idea. Sima Yue didn't expect that the power had already set their sights on Heartbreak Valley. Did Fenger and the rest know? Then Sima Yue better not come back. No, I should say, let her come back after we destroy the Divine Devil Valley and Heartbreak Valley. Yes. Come cheers. Bei Gong Tang didn't know what Sima Yue heard. Her face became uglier and uglier. Finally, she sneered and kicked the door open. I'm really sorry, I didn't come back when you expected. She sneered at the people inside. White Cloud D's people were drinking when the door was kicked open. They were so scared that they spat out all the wine in their mouths. Seeing the woman standing at the door and hearing her words, they didn't need to think to know who came. And she obviously heard their conversation. How can you ignore my spirit barrier? The man sitting at the head stood up. Sima Yue saw the flashing spirit barrier at the door. It was just right, it could prevent the people outside from knowing what was happening here. You want to stop me with this broken spirit barrier? She took a step forward and went directly into the spirit barrier. Bei Gong Tang passed through the door and could see the situation inside, but she couldn't hear the voices inside. The other private rooms heard the commotion and opened the door to take a look. The shopkeeper hurried over and cupped his hands at them, saying cheerfully, it's okay, everyone continue to eat and drink. Those people saw Bei Gong Tang standing at the door and there really wasn't any commotion inside. They really thought that it was okay and went back to eat. The shopkeeper came to Bei Gong Tang's side and saw the situation in the room, his mouth opened wide. He saw Sima Yue flashing past a few people quickly. Those people were beaten to the ground by her. They didn't even have time to react, let alone fight back. He had never seen Sima Yue fight before. Now that he saw her beat a few people to the ground, he wanted to say that this Valley Lord was really powerful, but when the words reached his mouth he couldn't say it. After Sima Yue beat them to the ground, she took out a black pill and gave it to everyone, then broke the spirit barrier and let the two people outside in. Chapter 1381. Vice Valley Lord, what did you feed them just now? The shopkeeper asked curiously. A poison that makes them weak all over and have no strength to commit suicide. Sima Yue said, take these people to the backyard, I want to interrogate them personally. Okay. The shopkeeper went out, a few waiters came up quickly, each of them carried 2 people and flew out of the window directly to the backyard. Although those people wanted to call for help, they couldn't make a sound so they could only be taken away. Get someone to clean up this place. Sima Yue said, gave up on the main door and flew down from the window with Bei Gong Tang. These people's words reminded her that she didn't appear for a few years. Others thought she was missing, so they started to stir. Since this was the case, she wouldn't appear. The enemy was in the light while she was in the dark. Want to deal with Divine Devil Valley and Heartbreak Valley? Then it depends on who is dealing with who. Bring them in. Sima Yue ordered. A few waiters immediately brought those people into the courtyard. Sima Lu Xian and Sima Lai were still talking about her past. When they saw her bringing a group of people in with the waiters, they were surprised. Yue, what's going on? Just throw them in the courtyard. The waiters threw them all in the courtyard, then retreated. The logo on their clothes, are they from Cloud Cave? Sima Yulin thought of those people in Little Realm of Wenhai. That's right. Sima Yue took out a few pills and gave them to each of them. This pill could alleviate the toxicity of the previous poison, so that they could at least have the strength to speak. Sima Yue, I didn't expect you to come back. The person who was called the boss saw Sima Yue. His eyes flashed with hatred and regret. If they knew, they wouldn't have come here to eat. Thinking of this, he glared at his subordinates. They were the ones who wanted to come here to eat, saying that it would be fine with the spirit barrier. In the end, they were all caught. His subordinates were also very loyal. They used to go to other memory restaurant to eat, but this never happened. How could he be so unlucky to meet Sima Yue here? The others did not expect that Sima Yue would capture the people of the Cloud Cave when she went out. He had no idea why she had captured him. Yue, what's up with these people? Fatty Chu asked. In my territory, they said they want to destroy Divine Devil Valley and deal with Heartbreak Valley. Sima Yue fed the pill, clapped her hands and stepped on the person beside her. What? How bold must he be? The others were all amused. In her territory, he dared to say that he wanted to destroy her forces. His guts were not ordinary. Isn't Cloud Cave's strength weaker than Divine Devil Valley? Sima Yulin said, could it be that they found someone to support them? Divine Devil Valley was attacked by Cloud Cave's people before. At that time, we knew that they were in cahoots with that mysterious force. Sima Yue said, so I think they must have borrowed the power of that force. Then let's interrogate them quickly and see when they will take action. Don't think about it, we will not betray the sect. The boss said firmly. That's right, you better kill us. Otherwise we won't say anything. Oh, you're quite loyal. Sima Yue sneered, increased the strength of her foot and immediately broke that person's hand. The piercing pain made him cry out, beads of sweat fell along his hair, but even so he was unwilling to say a word. Sima Yue retracted her foot, looked at him, then looked at the others. Everyone's eyes showed fear. Fear. This was definitely not because he was afraid of her. To a cultivator, this bit of pain was nothing more than a matter of enduring it. Does that mean it's fear of others? Because of this fear, they did not dare to say anything. Even if they died, it was better than the fear in their hearts. It seems that we can't get the situation out of them. Sima Lu Xian also noticed. Well, it seems that I have to put in a lot of effort. Sima Yue said. What are you going to do? Huang Yingying asked. Of course I'm going to deal with them. Sima Yue came to a spacious place, took out a pile of herbs and a pill furnace. In a short while she refined a furnace of pills. Let them eat this. Sima Yue threw the jade bottle to Fatty Chu, packed up the pill furnace, and by the time she was done she had already fed them the pills. What did you give us to eat? However, her words caused a few elders to glare at her. How could a little girl say such things? Sima Yue pursed her lips. This kind of filthy thing, was there a need to make such a fuss? Moreover, she was not wrong. Those people's expressions quickly became very erratic, their eyes lost focus. What's wrong with them? Fatty Chu asked. They are pursuing spiritual fulfillment. Sima Yue came in front of them and said, all right, now tell me what you know. What do you want to say? Let's talk about how to deal with Divine Devil Valley first. Divine Devil Valley? That person was stunned and said, we are going to attack Divine Devil Valley to kill all of them. Snatch their resources. Sima Yue interrupted him. Don't talk nonsense, what's your plan? How many people? Does Divine Devil Valley know about it? Divine Devil Valley has been fighting with us all these years, but they definitely don't know about the news this time because the main force attacking them is not Cloud Cave, but the people from above. People from above? Do you know who it is? We are just small fries at the bottom. How would we know who it is? But we have received news from the sect, asking us to go back secretly. What about the time? In a month's time. How many people? We don't know either. We are only responsible for following orders. You really don't know? Sima Yuyue's voice suddenly rose, startling everyone. It's true. Cloud Cave's people said with certainty. Their forces are not strong, they shouldn't be very important. It's normal that you don't know. Sima Lu Xian said. Yes, Yue, don't worry. The others also advised. Sima Yue nodded at them, then continued to interrogate. What about Heartbreak Valley? What do you know about this? I know this, they plan to kill their Valley Lord Shimin Feng, because they forced Zhongzheng clan and Yin Yang Palace into a desperate situation. After killing him, after we destroy Divine Devil Valley, we will deal with the rest of Heartbreak Valley. Assassinate Shimin Feng? When? It seems to be these 2 days. Chapter 1382. It seemed that Heartbreak Valley's economic suppression of Zhongzheng family and Yinyang Palace made that mysterious force unable to sit still. Kill Shimin Feng first and cause chaos in Heartbreak Valley so that they could no longer suppress Yinyang Palace and Zhongzheng clan. At the same time they would deal with Divine Devil Valley. After destroying Divine Devil Valley, they would turn back to deal with Heartbreak Valley. All the plans had to be carried out when Sima Yue wasn't around, because her presence was too unpredictable. Then, Sima Yue asked some other questions, but the answers she got were all unimportant. These people's positions in White Cloud D were too low, and they knew too little. If it wasn't for the fact that the matters of Divine Devil Valley and Heartbreak Valley had been put on the agenda, they wouldn't have known. Sima Yue took out a dagger and stabbed it into one of the men's heart. The man struggled for a while before he died. She took the opportunity to probe his divine sense, and the information she obtained was similar to what he said. It seems like my elixir is quite effective. Sima Yue threw the corpse on the ground and set it on fire, burning it to ashes. What kind of pill did you feed them just now? Make them tell the truth. It's my first time using it, so I want to see the effect. Sima Yue said. Yu, will the Valley Lord be alright? Fatty Chu and the others asked worriedly. They had also heard of that mysterious force. They heard that there were many powerful people. If Shimin Feng and the others were not prepared, it would be very easy for them to get into trouble. Sima Yue also thought of this and said, I'll contact him first and then send someone to protect him secretly. All right. More than an hour later, a group of people left Memory Restaurant quietly. These people weren't from Heartbreak Valley, but people from Blood Fiend City that she had invited. The people of Blood Fiend City were living a stable life in the little realm. Towards Sima Yue they were very grateful. Moreover, after following her for such a long time, he knew a lot about her and understood her character better. In particular, some people had lived a peaceful life here for a period of time, and some wanted to go out and do something. Therefore, when Sima Yue asked for their help, they agreed without hesitation. Will these people be enough? Little Seven, who had come out to get some fresh air, was a little worried about the strength of those people. She and Shimin Feng had a good relationship. Now that she knew that he was in danger, she was very worried. After following Sima Yue for so many years, she had seen how powerful that mysterious force was. Grandpa went with them too. Besides, those people aren't as weak as you think they are. Sima Yue said. I don't know if your grandfather is reliable or not. Little Seven mumbled. Grandpa was despised by her. Sima Yue patted her head and said, I know you want to go, but you can't. Once you appear, others will know that I'm back. We can't let those people be unprepared. I know. That's why I didn't go. Little Seven sighed. It had been a long time since she beat someone up. Her hands were itching for a beating. When they deal with the Divine Devil Valley, you can do whatever you want. All right then, we can only wait. I don't know how long we have to wait. You rascal, how long have you been quiet and you're going to revert back to your original self? Sima Yue poked her forehead. Where? Little Seven pouted. Her face that was about to revert back to normal looked so cute. Where's Mier? Didn't he come out with you? He went out to play. Little Seven said, Don't worry, I've warned him. No matter what he turns into, he can't turn into our looks. We can't let anyone know that we're back. Not bad. You've grown up. Sima Yue praised with a smile. That's right. Little Seven raised her chin proudly. Oh right, you, do we have to do anything? We don't know the details about them attacking the Divine Devil Valley. We need to know more details about this. Sima Yue touched her chin. Although I've already sent someone to send a message back to the Divine Devil Valley to remind them to be careful, without any details, their defense has no purpose. Then let's go and capture the people above them. They're all in this city? Little Seven said with a grin. How did you know? Sima Yue stared at her. Did you do something behind my back? Nothing much, I just went to interrogate the remaining White Cloud D's people and asked about their boss. I'm smart, right? So you wanted to go long ago. Since you know where it is, let's go. More than an hour later, in a courtyard in the same district as them, someone who was busy suddenly barged in and interrupted them. Who are you? What are you doing in my White Cloud D's territory? I'm here to look for someone. Sima Yue and Thousand Resonance combined and turned into a valiant bearded man. That vicious aura around him made it obvious that he was here to look for trouble. Who are you looking for? Where's Wang Tianhua? Sima Yue asked. A rather elegant-looking man came out from the house and saw Sima Yue. He asked, Why are you looking for me? You're Wang Tianhua? That's right, who are you? I'm Guihua's brother-in-law's brother's neighbor's brother-in-law who you abandoned. I heard that you hurt her, so I'm here to look for you to clear things up with her. Sima Yue placed the large knife in her hand on her shoulder and casually made up a story. She found out about this Guihua from White Cloud D's people. She heard that she was a good friend of his from the same hometown and was abandoned by him. I've said it before, don't look for me again. If you come and bother me again, don't blame me for being rude. Wang Tianhua snorted coldly. Ayaya, you dumped her and you're still so arrogant. I'm here today to ask you to come with me to see her. If you don't agree, I'll forcefully take you away. In order to prevent any harm, you better come with me obediently. How dare you act so atrociously in my White Cloud D's territory? Wang Tianhua laughed coldly. With a wave of his hand, more than 10 people surrounded Sima Yue. However, Sima Yue didn't intend to fight with these people. She called out Little Seven, who was in disguise. Little Seven's eyes lit up when she saw those people. She raised her fist and attacked them. Sima Yue teleported to Wang Tianhua's side. Wang Tianhua was shocked. Before he could react, he realized that his body couldn't move. What did you do to me? He screamed in shock. Nothing, just something to calm you down. You poisoned me. Smart. Sima Yue smiled. Then come with us obediently. Wang Tianhua watched as Little Seven took care of all the people in the courtyard. He felt as if his blood was flowing backwards. Let's go. Sima Yue grabbed him by the neck and took him away under the watchful eyes of the wounded on the ground. Chapter 1383. White Cloud D's people were in a mess. When did Guihua find such a powerful person to help her? Wang Tianhua had abandoned her. Now that he had been captured, would something happen to him? Should we report this to the higher-ups? What's there to report? If the higher-ups knew that he was delaying official business because of personal matters at this time, they would definitely punish him. If he is punished, will we still have a good life? When the time comes, he will definitely be sent as the power forward. That's true. Then let's not report it. As long as he came back before then, it would be fine. We're the ones doing it anyway. Yes. It's settled then. Therefore, no one suspected that Wang Tianhua had been kidnapped by Sima Yue. Wang Tianhua felt that after leaving White Cloud D's territory, his divine sense had become chaotic. He had no idea who he had been following, how long he had been following, and where he had gone. By the time he woke up, he was already surrounded by people. And this was not Guihua's home at all. Who are you? He realized that something was wrong. He wanted to move, but he was tied to the chair. Don't waste your energy. This is the immortal binding rope I refined. You won't be able to break it. Fatty Chu said proudly from the side. With just this, you can only bind someone of his level of strength. Once he gets a little stronger, you won't be able to do anything. You still have the nerve to call it the immortal binding rope? Sima Yulu and Fatty Chu had the best relationship. Seeing how proud he was, he laughed and teased. This is only the first generation. When I have time later, I will slowly improve it. I will definitely make this immortal binding rope live up to its name. Fatty Chu said confidently. We'll be waiting. Good luck. Sima Yulu smiled as he patted his shoulder. Wait for me to blind your eyes. How could Fatty Chu not tell that he was laughing at him? He patted his chest and said. Wang Tianhua tried to move, but he couldn't break free from the rope. Seeing the big man who brought her here, she said, This is not Guihua's home at all. Who are you? Why did you bring me here? What is your intention? Looks like you're not stupid after all, Sima Yue said as she removed her fusion with Thousand Resonance and returned to her original form. You are Sima Yue. Wang Tianhua exclaimed, his heart sinking. She actually came back secretly, but they didn't know about it. Also, did she know something by tying her up and bringing her here? You look so shocked, it seems like you know why I asked you to come here. Sima Yue said, if that's the case, are you going to confess or do you want me to torture you? Don't expect me to tell you anything. You better let me go. Otherwise, the people from my sect will definitely come looking for you. Can you find someone from your hometown? Sima Yue said, you don't need me to remind you of how you treat your subordinates, do you? Do you think they have the guts to interrupt you? Wang Tianhua's heart sank even further. She was right. Whoever dared to disturb him would definitely not have a good ending. Therefore, it was very likely that they would ignore him this time. But even so, he would not tell her anything. Even if he were to die, he couldn't say anything. Just like those people. I'm going to waste my pills again. He heard a sigh by his ear and was then fed a pill. He wanted to spit it out, but it melted in his mouth and he couldn't spit it out. Very quickly he felt that his brain no longer belonged to him. It was as if he had arrived at a vast expanse of white. The white clouds touched him and it was very comfortable and pleasant. At this moment, it was as if someone was talking by his ear. He didn't know what was said and he didn't know what he said either. He thought that he had ascended to immortality. Not long after, the white clouds around him slowly dissipated, and the feeling of floating disappeared. His divine sense returned, and he found that he was still locked in the same room. However, there were no longer those people around him, and there was only a little girl in her teens. She sat on a chair by the side, her hands supporting her chin. Her big round eyes looked very innocent. Little sister, can you let me go? He tried to tempt her. If you let me go, I'll give you something good, how about that? Nothing much. Little Seven was very unhappy that he was treating her like a fool. If you want me to let you go, you have to agree to one condition. What condition? Wang Tianhua's eyes lit up. As long as there was hope, it was fine. I'll untie you and you and I will fight. If you win, you can leave. Little Seven said. Wang Tianhua looked at Little Seven. There was no spirit beast aura on her, which meant that she was a human. How strong could a human girl in her teens be? As long as she untied him, would she be able to stop him? Thinking of this, he readily agreed. Then I'll untie you. Little Seven came to his side and untied the knot on the rope. She took 2 steps back and said, it's done. Wang Tianhua stood up and tore off the rope on his body. Then he said to Little Seven, little sister, I don't want to hurt you. As long as you don't make a sound, I won't hurt you, understand? You're saying that you won't fight with me? Little Seven asked. Wait for next time, okay? I'll fight with you next time. Wang Tianhua sensed that there was no one outside, so he could escape. He walked towards the door and prepared to open it. However, just as his hand touched the handle, a cold aura came from behind him. You dare to lie to me? Do you really think I'm a child? Little Seven's voice was cold. Wang Tianhua was shocked and turned his head to look. The person who was at the other end of the room suddenly appeared in front of him. Then a pair of small hands grabbed his collar and grabbed his shoulders. With a strong swing, she threw him out. Wang Tianhua fell on his back. However, the pain on his body could not compare to the shock in his heart. This little girl actually had such great strength. Could it be that she was not as weak as she looked? You're not human? He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and cried out. How am I human? Little Seven coldly snorted. You bad person, you actually dared to lie to me. You will pay the price. After saying this, she raised her fists and went to beat him up. Wang Tianhua saw that the action was familiar. His eyes suddenly widened and he cried out, you're the person who beat people up in the manor. You only know now. You dare to lie to the cute Little Seven. Prepare to suffer my anger. Little Seven shouted as she pounced forward. Very quickly, miserable cries came from the room. The other people in the courtyard all shook their heads. Yue let Little Seven guard him. Was this intentional? At the same time, far away in the outskirts, Shimin Feng and Old Bai were madly running. They were trying to shake off the people chasing them. However, no matter if they used a one-time transfer array or a space passage, the other party was able to lock onto them tightly. Because of the overdraft of their strength, the people behind them gradually caught up. Chapter 1384. Shimin Feng and the others naturally knew who was chasing them. They didn't expect that this mysterious power would actually come to kill them. It seemed that their suppression of the Yin-Yang Palace and the Zhongzheng clan had attracted the attention of that mysterious force. Previously, the Yin-Yang Palace and the Zhongzheng family had turned against each other because of Yue's scheme. However, later on, because of the support of the same force behind them, they temporarily colluded with each other. This time they had attacked the economies of the two forces, causing the other party to want to kill them. Everyone understood this in their hearts, so after catching up, they did not speak any nonsense and directly started fighting. However, the spirit beasts were injured, and the people's spirit energy was exhausted. They simply could not compare to the people who came up one after another. Was he really going to die here today? Outside the battlefield, a man frowned as he looked at the few people who were stubbornly resisting. These people's combat power was too strong. If they hadn't brought so many people and took turns to attack, they would have escaped this time. He sensed some movement in the air. Fearing that the situation had changed, he waved his hand to the people behind him. You guys attack together. Let's end this quickly. Upon receiving the order, the few people behind him ignored their own injuries and ran over to attack. Motherf *Ker, someone is really trying to kill our Valley Lord. Fortunately we rushed over. Alright, cut the crap. Hurry up and save the Valley Lord and Elder Bai. The moment the spatial passageway opened, a group of people rushed out. When they saw Shimin Feng and the others being forced into a desperate situation, they were furious. Although they didn't know the relationship between Shimin Feng and Sima Yue, they knew that Sima Yue cared a lot about him and Bai Sheng. If something really happened, how were they going to account for it? One had to know that they had patted their chests and promised that they would protect Shimin Feng and the others well. Valley Lord, we are here to save you. Valley Lord, let us deal with these people. Old Bai, we're here. Shimin Feng's group only had a dozen people while the enemy had 30 to 40 people. The people from Bloodfiend City who had rushed over were a total of 200 people and all of them were very strong. When they saw these people, everyone was dumbfounded. Shimin Feng had never seen them before, but from their voices, he knew that these people should be called by Sima Yue. Otherwise they wouldn't be called Valley Lord and wouldn't know Bai Sheng and the others. Bai Sheng looked at the leaders and smiled. He said excitedly, Valley Lord, they're here. We'll be fine. Shimin Feng and the others could not hold on any longer. When they saw that someone was coming, they went limp. Fortunately, he was caught by someone and did not fall to the ground. Motherf *Ker. How dare you touch our Valley Lord? You must be tired of living. Brothers, today we must avenge the Valley Lord and the others. We must also know that our Heartbreak Valley is not that easy to bully. That's right. You talk too much. Let's do it, the others are already doing it. Very quickly those people were beaten to a pulp. They were cautious and did not kill them directly. But when those people saw that there was no hope of escaping, they all committed suicide. Old Bai, they're all dead. The people in charge of inspection said to Bai Sheng. Alright, Shimin Feng was not their real Valley Lord, so those words earlier were for others to hear. It was to prevent the identity of Bloodfiend City from being exposed, and to let others know that Sima Yue was secretly making arrangements. Because, other than Sima Yue, no one else from Bloodfiend City was able to move. If someone received today's news, they would only think that the people from Heartbreak Valley had rushed over. Now that they were sure that there was no one around, they would not really treat Shimin Feng as the Valley Lord. But they still had the respect that they should have. Why did you few old men come over? Bai Sheng had a good relationship with old Lu, so he asked. Of course it's because Miss Yue said that you were in trouble and asked us to come over. Old Lu said, at first she asked us to look for you. But when we found out that you were being chased, we rushed over. Luckily we came in time. How did boss know that we were being chased? An INE was injured and someone was bandaging his wound. Once he heard that it was Sima Yue who asked them to come over, he was extremely agitated. This you can go back and ask her. We don't know either. Old Lu scratched his neck. Yue caught a few people from Cloud Cave. She heard that there would be an assassination, so she asked them for help. Sima Xiuqi walked over from behind and said faintly. Shimin Feng saw that Sima Xiuqi was here and quickly bowed. Grandpa Qi, why are you here too? Yue was worried about you guys, so she asked me to rush over. I don't have anything to do at home, so I came over. Sima Xiuqi said. Yue said that you guys are in danger now and asked you to go back. After you guys rest, we'll make a move. All right. Shimin Feng and the rest knew that they were being targeted by that mysterious force. Without any preparation, it was too dangerous to stay outside. Half a day later, Sima Xiuqi brought them back to Sima Yue's place. When the people from Bloodfiend City came back, they said that they wanted to go out for a walk. They were nearby, so they weren't afraid of meeting their enemies. Sima Yue saw the injured people and they were all in a sorry state. How are you? Are you all right? I'm fine. Luckily you sent people to rescue us. Shimin Feng said. Boss, it's all thanks to you. You are our lucky star. Dai said with a grin. Alright, all of you are seriously injured, so why are you still laughing foolishly? Hurry up and recuperate. Sima Yue patted his shoulder and pressed on his wound. Although the wound wasn't bleeding, it was still so painful that he grimaced and sucked in cold air. Sima Yue let go of him and said to the rest, I've already arranged the rooms for you guys. Don't worry about anything first and recuperate. We'll talk about other things later. Alright. Right, where's Lu Liangkai? Sima Yue asked. He should still be in Tong City. Send someone to inform him to come back. It's not safe for him to be outside now. Moreover, I have some things to discuss with him. Sima Yue said. Forget it, all of you are injured. Let the shopkeeper inform him later. Alright, go back to your rooms and rest now. Everyone returned to their rooms. After fighting for so long and escaping for so long, they were injured and tired. It was time to rest since they didn't fully recover. On the second day, Lu Liangkai came back. It wasn't too far away. Sima Yue called Shimin Feng and the rest to the living room and told them what she found out. So that force doesn't see eye to eye with us and is preparing to deal with us? And I said. You guys have been closing the net recently. Yin Yang Palace and Zhongzheng clan are forced into a desperate situation. That's why they want to get rid of Feng first so that Heartbreak Valley will have no leader. After destroying Divine Devil Valley, the next target will be Heartbreak Valley. However, do they really think that the world's bones are so easy to chew? Sima Yue said solemnly. Chapter 1385. I don't know what kind of power that is. They're causing trouble everywhere. Feng Kai said, the trade union alliance has joined forces with other forces to suppress them for the past 2 to 3 years. They have to deal with the trade union alliance and still have the energy to attack other sects? The others were also very angry. Could it be that that faction is already so powerful? Sima Yue thought about it and shook her head. I don't think so. Even the forces in the inner circle couldn't possibly have such strength. With all the unions working together, even a single force in the inner circle would not be able to withstand them. Not to mention that he still had to spare energy to deal with others. If it really is a faction, then they are already so strong. They wouldn't be so secretive and play dirty tricks in the dark. Boss, do you mean that those things in the past were not done by a single faction? Shi Chen was shocked by his own thoughts. Every time we see them dressed the same way, it doesn't mean that they are the same group of people. Sima Yue said, are you sure that they are snobbish people? Everyone looked at each other. They really couldn't be sure. That's why we can't say anything for now. They might belong to the same faction or they might belong to different factions. We don't know. But no matter what the situation is, as long as they dare to invade us, then we will kill them one by one and kill them in pairs. We will not let those people return. Seeing how domineering Sima Yue was, everyone laughed and the tense atmosphere disappeared. However, I can be sure that the forces behind the Cloud Cave, Zhongzheng clan, and Yin Yang Palace should be the same. Then let's follow the clues and see if we can find this force. Alright. You have to be careful. If they kill you once, they will kill you twice. Furthermore, we've killed all of their people. They definitely won't let this matter rest. If you go out again, you must bring more people with you. Sima Yue reminded. We will. Shimin Feng nodded. He would not joke about the lives of the people in the valley. Liang Kai, you've worked hard these past few years. To be able to drive them to desperation, your contribution is remarkable. Sima Yue said to Lu Liang Kai. They definitely know about Liang Kai's existence. So Feng, you must send people to protect Liang Kai. I plan to bring more people with me if Liang Kai goes out. Shimin Feng thought of this too. Ask Fatty to refine more Thunderbolt bullets later. Bring more of them with you when you go out. See if we can't blow them up. And I said. No matter what, Fatty is still alone. Even if he refines day and night, he won't be able to make it in time, Feng Kai said. I've already discussed this matter with Fatty. He will return to the valley and teach the refiners in the valley how to refine Thunderbolt bombs. Sima Yue continued, it's just that you'll have to think of a way to get the materials, because some materials aren't easy to find. As long as it's a name list, it shouldn't be a problem. Yes, although these things are rare, they are not hard to find. Sima Yue continued, in addition, I got someone to pass the recipe to the Divine Devil Valley. If you meet them when you are purchasing materials, let them pass. Okay. Also, we've made some plans. Feng, don't appear for a while. Just say that you were seriously injured in yesterday's assassination and are unconscious. Sima Yue said. Then you guys. Soon, Heartbreak Valley spread the news that Shimin Feng was assassinated and was seriously injured and unconscious. Fortunately, the people in the valley arrived in time and he was hanging on to his last breath. But even so, the people in Heartbreak Valley couldn't wake him up. They could only pin their hopes on the Divine Doctor, Vice Valley Lord. But Sima Yue had been missing for 3 to 4 years. So, the people in Heartbreak Valley searched for her everywhere. At this time, in an inconspicuous small courtyard in a certain city, several people wearing black clothes and black masks were gathered together. Shimin Feng is really unconscious? The person in the middle said with a hoarse voice. Yes, Heartbreak Valley is in chaos now. They sent many people out to search for Sima Yue. Hall Master, since they're in chaos, should we take the opportunity to destroy them? The person on the other side asked. Don't worry. The Hall Master said. Although Heartbreak Valley is in chaos now, it's not the time of life and death, so other forces won't care. But if we attack them and they ask for help, not to mention other things, just the Bird Clan alone is enough for us to deal with. Our top priority now is to take down Heartbreak Valley and let the professional masters in the valley strengthen our strength. Then we don't care about Heartbreak Valley? Yinyang Palace and Zhongzheng Clan have been suppressed badly recently. Send someone to tell them to hold on until a month later. Heartbreak Valley is already leaderless. If they can't survive in this situation, then just wait for bankruptcy. The organization won't want such useless trash. Yes. Hallmaster, I think Yinyang Palace and Zhongzheng Clan are too useless. This Heartbreak Valley has only been established for a few years. How can they not even compare to a new force? What do you know? The Hallmaster said. This Heartbreak Valley seems to be established not long ago, but its power can't be underestimated. They're so powerful? They can get the Hallmaster's affirmation? You've been carrying out missions, not intelligence gathering. It's reasonable that you're not familiar with them. The Hallmaster said. Although they've only been established not long ago, they have a strong background. Memory Restaurant is their property. In addition, Chinamo also gave them many shops. Plus these years of operation they've expanded a lot. So, their business foundation isn't weak. If they only have this little business foundation, they won't be able to make those two trash helpless. The Hallmaster said. Then why? Have you heard of Lu Liang Kai? Everyone thought for a while and said, Hallmaster, are you talking about the business genius Lu Liang Kai who was expelled from the Lu clan in the inner region? Yes, it's him. The Hallmaster snorted. The Lu clan is a group of old fools. Because of some groundless things, they drove a business genius out of the clan and chased him all the way. In the end, they forced him to go to Bloodfiend City. Now he's the one managing the economy in Heartbreak Valley. No wonder when I heard the news of Heartbreak Valley before, I felt that the name was familiar. With a certain foundation coupled with Lu Liang Kai's talent, it's normal that those two trash would be suppressed. It's a pity that none of our close to 100 people came back. The Hallmaster thought of this and clenched his fist. However, how did the people of Heartbreak Valley get the news and run to the rescue? Well, it's time to attack Divine Devil Valley. You guys go and make the final confirmation. 3 days later we'll set off. Chapter 1386. The Divine Devil Valley had been very busy these years, because the group of dregs from the Cloud Cave were very restless. They often provoked them and targeted them. While they were busy with the matters in the valley, they also had to deal with those bastards from Cloud Cave. What made them even angrier was that every time they forced the people of Cloud Cave into a desperate situation, there would be other forces coming to rescue them. It made them feel like they were hitting a ball of cotton. This really pissed them off. However, their tempers were much smoother recently, and they no longer looked bitter and bitter. Instead, they each did their own things. On this day, the people from Cloud Cave and the mysterious forces arrived at Divine Devil Valley. At the same time, the others went to their branch hall outside, preparing to destroy their forces in the branch hall. Boom! The fierce attack shook the entire Divine Devil Valley, and very quickly, a group of people flew out from the valley. The God Valley Lord Liang Wu Ming, the various hall masters, and a group of elders came out. Those who were observant would notice that only the older generation was here. Ying Bai Chuan, the junior valley master, and the various young hall masters were not here. Unfortunately, the people of the Cloud Cave didn't notice this, or even if they noticed this, they didn't care about it. They thought that they were allowed to stay in the valley to protect them. Liang Wu Ming saw Cloud Cave's cave master Ma Yuan Ming and saw the mess outside Divine Devil Valley. He shouted, "You damn horse, how dare you bring people to my Divine Devil Valley, are you here to die?" Ha ha ha. Ma Yuanming raised his head and laughed. Liang Wuming, you're still boasting even now. Today is the day that your divine Devil Valley is annihilated. With just the two of you? Liang Wuming snorted coldly. Since you're here, then stay here. Valley Lord, why are you still talking nonsense with them? Just kill him. Xiao Jingzhong shouted. That's right. Tang Yi agreed with Xiao Jingzhong this time. The two of them stopped quarreling and stood together against the outside world. Yes, Valley Lord. These people have already fought their way to our doorstep. If we don't exterminate them, wouldn't that make us look like a failure? Ha! Xiao Jingzhong, are you blind? With the lords here, you won't be able to escape death today. Ma Yuanming laughed. Don't talk so much nonsense, just do it. The leader in black said. Go. Ha ha. You want to touch our divine Devil Valley? Are you sure your brains aren't spoiled? Suddenly, a loud laugh came from the sky, stopping the battle that was about to start. Could it be that there was external help at this time? When the people from Divine Devil Valley heard the voice, they were all excited. When they saw who it was, they all started to shout. It is the second Valley Lord. Second, the Valley Lord has returned. You brat, you actually left for so many years before coming back. I thought you died outside. Xiao Jingzhong shouted. I, Old Man Devil, am back. Ah. The person who came out of the spatial tunnel was Old Man Devil, who had disappeared for a long time. Although he looked the same, everyone could feel that his aura was different. Old Man Devil took 2 steps to Liang Wuming's side and said, Senior brother, I'm back. If you still know to come back. If it wasn't for your life Jade, we would have thought that you died outside. Liang Wuming glared at him. This guy ran away all these years, leaving him to take care of the Divine Devil Valley's matters alone. Now that he saw his familiar face, he couldn't help but get angry. Of course I'm back. I just came out of seclusion and rushed back the moment I heard that something happened to the Divine Devil Valley. Old Man Devil said with certainty. How did you know that something happened here? Who told you? It's a secret. Old Man Devil said with a grin. He looked at Ma Yuanming with one hand on his waist and the other pointing at him, saying, Dead horse, why are you still alive after so many years? How can I die when you're not dead? Ma Yuanming snorted. You sent so many people here to destroy my Divine Devil Valley. Luckily I came back in time, otherwise I wouldn't have seen you die. Old Man Devil sighed. How arrogant. You think you're back? Chapter 1387. When the people from Divine Devil Valley saw the item that the black-robed man took out, they were astonished. Many of their faces flashed with worry. Formation breaking tool. The faces of the Divine Devil Valley's hall masters and elders turned ugly. They didn't expect the mysterious force to have such a thing. The formation breaking tool was a very rare divine tool. With it in hand, it could break almost all of the present formations. Only the formations passed down from ancient times would not be of much use to it. Get out. When the black-clothed man saw that the hole above was almost opened, he took the lead and flew out. When the others saw this, they also flew up. Soon, everyone in the array formation flew out of the array formation. Although I am surprised that you all have made preparations beforehand, that does not mean that this will change anything, the black-clothed man said coldly. That's right. Ma Yuanming had escaped a calamity. He was furious. He looked at Liang Wuming and the others with a fierce gaze. Everyone attack. We must destroy them today. Let's see who will destroy who. Outer Valley disciples, now is the time to play our role. Everyone attack. Both parties had officially clashed, and the entire area outside the Divine Devil Valley was their battlefield. The nearby mountain peaks were almost destroyed. Even the Divine Devil Valley's main valley was destroyed because of the destruction of the defensive array. Because of the addition of the mysterious forces, the Divine Devil Valley was gradually losing ground. Many people began to use thunderbolt bullets. Once this thing appeared, the entire mountain range was riddled with holes. It had to be said that those from the inner regions were much more powerful than Divine Devil Valley. Even if they were prepared, even if they had thunderbolt bombs and various spirit weapons, they still couldn't defeat them. Valley Lord, with my current strength, I won't be able to hold on for much longer. Xiao Jingzhong said as he panted heavily. After killing one person, he saw that Liang Wuming was also resting. I didn't expect them to have an array-breaking artifact. This has spoiled our plan to a large extent. Liang Wuming said, I've already sent her a message. She should be bringing people over. Everyone just hold on a little longer. I can only endure. Damn it, luckily we have a lot of medicinal pills, otherwise this spiritual energy would not be enough. Xiao Jingzhong cursed, ate a medicinal pill, and continued to attack the people of the Cloud Cave. The Cloud Cave's people were originally afraid of the Divine Devil Valley's people, but seeing them retreating under the attack of the black-robed men, their morale soared, forcing the Divine Devil Valley's people to retreat into the valley. However, their defense array had been destroyed by the black-clothed men during the battle, so even if they retreated, it wouldn't be able to protect them. They're retreating. Everyone catch up, we must eradicate the Divine Devil Valley today. Ma Yuanming raised his arm and shouted. The people of Cloud Cave immediately became excited. The Divine Devil Valley had always been suppressing them. After so many years they could finally get rid of them and vent their anger. One side's morale was low due to their initial loss, while the other side's morale was high. The difference was obvious. By the time Sima Yue arrived with the people from Heartbreak Valley, all they saw was a mess in Divine Devil Valley. Damn it, where's this mountain? An Ione shouted. It must have been leveled. Sima Yue saw the situation and felt something was wrong. She and Liang Wu Ming had discussed before if they could deal with it they wouldn't show up, if they couldn't she would bring people over. But she only received a short message from Liang Wu Ming, because he crushed the communication device she had a response, but she didn't know what happened in the middle. Therefore when she saw the mess she was a little stunned. Could it be that the other party was so strong that those things were useless? Let's not care about that first. Let's save them first. Sima Yue said to the people around her. They didn't need to look for the people from Divine Devil Valley, because there were sounds of fighting everywhere. Oh my god, you black and white are going to heaven. An Ione shouted exaggeratedly when he saw Cloud Cave and the black-clothed men's clothes. But his hands didn't stop moving and in a few moves he rescued the few people from the Divine Devil Valley who were trapped. When the others saw the people from Heartbreak Valley, they cried out excitedly, "It's the people from Heartbreak Valley. The people from Heartbreak Valley are here to save us. Everyone must hold on. Ha ha ha. People from Cloud Cave, go to hell." The scene changed again, both sides' momentum was tilted again because Sima Yue brought a lot of people, the situation was quickly improved. Sima Yue joined the battle. After she saved a few people, she turned and saw Old Man Devil who was fighting with Ma Yuanming. "Master," she shouted in surprise. But Old Man Devil didn't react at all, he was still focused on the battle. Sima Yue reacted immediately, this was a battlefield, he couldn't be distracted. Moreover, she changed her appearance and voice, it was normal that he didn't react. Since Master was back, they would have time to meet up later. Thinking of this, she wanted to end the battle quickly, she had more energy to kill those people. The man in black saw the people from Heartbreak Valley who joined the battle, then looked at the people from Cloud Cave who were almost killed, he gritted his teeth and said, "Pull." The people beside him immediately took out a whistle and blew. The man in black heard the sound and said to the people from Cloud Cave, "Retreat. Retreat. We've already fought to this point, how can we retreat?" But the man in black didn't care about their opinions, he turned and left without hesitation. "If you don't want to leave then you can stay, we'll leave." The people from Cloud Cave saw that the man in black really retreated, no matter how unwilling they were, they had to leave. "Boss, should we stop them?" Fengji asked. Sima Yue looked at the Divine Devil Valley who suffered heavy losses, she asked Liang Wu Ming, "Valley Lord, do you still want to chase after them? They have array-breaking weapons, we can't keep them. Let them go. But for today's grudge, after we've fixed up, we'll definitely go and take revenge," Liang Wu Ming said. Sima Yue understood why Divine Devil Valley lost when she heard about array-breaking weapons. She naturally understood that they couldn't keep those people without any preparation. "Tell everyone don't chase," she ordered. Feng Ji passed down the message telling them not to chase, but the people from Heartbreak Valley still chased after them for a while, they only stopped when they opened up a space tunnel and left. Sima Yue saw that the people from Cloud Cave had left, she saw Old Man Devil coming over, she shouted happily, "Master." Old Man Devil stared at her and said, "Young man, although you saved me, you can't call me master so casually." Before he finished, he saw Sima Yue who had disintegrated with 1,000 resonance, his eyes widened. Chapter 1388. Yue? Old Man Devil was shocked, but then he laughed and hugged her. "Haha, I didn't expect to see my precious disciple as soon as I came back. Master, don't shout so loudly. I can't let others know that I'm back yet." "Huh? We'll talk about the details when we get back." Sima Yue looked at the almost flattened valley. Seems like we can only make do here. I don't think we can live here anymore. As for the rest, let's talk about it later. Let everyone recuperate first. Liang Wuming said. All right. I will first bring some people to set up a defensive array. Everyone can recuperate inside the defensive array. Sima Yue said. All right. I'll have to trouble you then. Liang Wuming said gratefully. Then we'll go first. The few of you follow me. Sima Yue called a few array masters from Heartbreak Valley to set up a relatively large defense array. Old Man Devil's jaw almost dropped to the ground when he saw Sima Yue leave just like that. My Yue is so awesome. Many things have happened in the years you were away. You missed out on her growth. Liang Wuming said, this disciple of yours in just a few short decades has already grown to a height that people can only look up to. What? Old Man Devil was even more shocked. Hurry up and tell me, what has she been through all these years? Therefore, while Sima Yue and the rest were setting up the formation, Liang Wuming told him everything he knew about Sima Yue. After that he added, these are all things that we know. I believe that there are many things that we don't know. Old Man Devil was stunned. He needed time to digest this information. How did he get such a heaven-defying disciple? Moreover, he didn't seem to have taught her how to refine pills, and the time they spent together wasn't much. Adding it all up, it didn't seem to be more than a few days. He felt a knot in his heart. She was so outstanding, would she still acknowledge an incompetent master like him? However, when he thought of how outstanding she was as her master, he felt proud. After Sima Yue finished setting up the array, she came back to see Old Man Devil frowning for a while and looking happy for a while. Master, what's wrong? Why is the wound still bleeding? Have you taken any pills? She asked with concern. Old Man Devil saw that she was still very concerned about him, so he hugged her and said, Yue, master is not competent. I let you go through so many things alone. Would you blame me for abandoning you? So this guy is actually thinking about this. She patted his back and said, Master, what are you thinking? A master for a day is a father for life. How could I not recognize you? Sob, 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 master is so touched. Old Man Devil's devilish cries made everyone in the Divine Devil Valley raise their eyebrows. All right, master, everyone is looking at you. Sima Yue smelled the scent of blood on his body. She struggled out of his arms and took out some healing pills for him. Hee, I was so surprised that I forgot. But I only have external injuries. It's not serious, so I don't need these pills. Old Man Devil laughed as he took out the pills and ate them. Very quickly the wound stopped bleeding. Not long later, the light of the array appeared outside the array. Ingbai Chuan brought a group of people out. Seeing the mess in the Divine Devil Valley, they were stunned. How could the losses here be so serious? They wanted to go in, but they realized that the array was different. Just as they were about to contact Liang Wuming, the array opened up and allowed them to go in. Ingbai Chuan looked around and didn't care if it was a trap or not. He said to the people behind him, I'll go in and take a look first. If there's nothing, you guys can come in. Let's go in. If anything happens, you'll be able to lead everyone better than us. No, let me go. Ingbai Chuan said, you guys wait here. Junior Valley Master. If there's really something in the valley, then we... Hey, are you guys coming in or not? An I suddenly appeared behind the array, giving everyone a shock. Isn't this one of the top 10 evildoers? He's following Yue, Junior Valley Master. This means that it's safe inside. Someone recognized an I. This meant that it was safe inside. Go in. Ingbai Chuan said, and those people went in one after another. After everyone went in, the array closed up again. After Ingbai Chuan and the rest went in, they saw a group of injured people not long after. Master. Master. Whole Master. Bai Chuan, you guys are back. How are things over there? Liang Wuming asked. Things are going smoothly over there. We killed most of the people in Cloud Cave and those black-robed men, but some escaped. Ingbai Chuan said, Master, why is it so serious here? They have an array-breaking device which messed up our plan. Liang Wuming reminded, go and see if anyone needs help. Yes, Master. Ingbai Chuan was surprised to see Sima Yue. Yue, when did you come back? Sima Yue saw that he was surprised and blinked. I've been back for a while. Why, senior uncle didn't tell you? You're the one who told Master the news? Ingbai Chuan suddenly realized. He was curious who told Master the news and made him believe it without a doubt and made arrangements based on it. So it was her. We're lucky to have you this time, otherwise our losses would be greater, we might really be exterminated. Look at what you're saying. Although I didn't spend much time in the valley, I'm still considered a member of the Divine Devil Valley. Sima Yue smiled. Are you going to calculate the data? Yes. To see the casualties this time. Then go ahead. I'm going to check on those who are seriously injured. They brushed past each other and went about their own business. Soon the final result was out. Not many people died, but many were injured. As there was an alchemy hall, there was no shortage of pills, so the injuries were nothing. But what gave them a headache now was that the valley was destroyed in the battle. How were they going to live here in the future? That son of a bitch Ma Yuan Ming, I'll definitely kill him when I see him. Seeing the mess in the Divine Devil Valley, everyone was furious. It's useless to be angry now, wait for us to recover, we'll definitely raise the Cloud Cave's territory and make them pay with their blood. Sima Yue said. But everyone can't stay here forever. The Divine Devil Valley can't be used for a while. Those who are injured need to rest. Liang Wu Ming said painfully. Senior uncle, since that's the case, why don't we let them rest in the Heartbreak Valley? We're still big inside, let everyone go there first, we'll come back after we're done here. Sima Yue suggested. TXT download address. Mobile reading, book review. For the convenience of your next reading, you can bookmark at the top to record the reading record of this. Chapter 1388 Post-War Mess. Her suggestion, you'll be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Fanbone would thanks for your support. Chapter 1389. The whole continent knew that White Cloud Cave had joined forces with a mysterious force to attack the Valley of Gods and Demons. The entire continent knew that White Cloud Cave had joined forces with a mysterious faction to attack the demonic God Valley. Many people even went to observe the Valley of Gods and Demons. Seeing the desolation and the almost flat mountaintop, everyone thought that the people of the Valley of Gods and Demons would gnash their teeth in hatred and glare at them angrily. After reorganizing themselves, they would attack. But now there was a great show, but it was different from what they had expected. The Valley of Gods and Demons was going to merge with the Broken Intestines Valley to form a new force. This news was too surprising. It was said that the Valley Master of the Broken Intestines Valley, Shimen Feng, had been assassinated and had fallen into a coma. No one could wake him up, and the Broken Intestines Valley had used all its strength to search for Sima Yue. Now that the Valley of Gods and Demons had merged with it, it was probably not a merger but a forceful occupation. This Sima Yue was the Deputy Valley Master of the Broken Intestines Valley. If she came back and found out that the Valley of Gods and Demons had annexed the Broken Intestines Valley, what kind of expression would she have? As the young Valley Master of the Valley of Gods and Demons, would she seek justice for the Broken Intestines Valley? Of course, this was on the premise that she could come back alive. She had never disappeared from the public's eyes for so long. Maybe she was really dead. Many people were excited at the thought of this possibility. They could not afford to offend her, but it was good to know that she was dead, ha ha ha. Moreover, the Broken Intestines Valley that she had built up with her own hands was about to be annexed by her sect. Just thinking about it made people happy. When Sima Yue heard this news in the Broken Intestines Valley, she could not help but twitch the corner of her mouth. Beigong, why am I so hated? She touched her face. She did not seem to have done anything that angered both men and gods, right? Why were there so many people who wished for her to be bad? Beigong Tang was sipping tea with her. The two beauties sat under a big locust tree at the top of the mountain, smelling the faint fragrance of flowers and tasting the fragrant flower tea. They chatted cheerfully and wittily, and the disciples who passed by could not help but take a few more glances. Beigong Tang saw her reaction after hearing the news about the scarlet wasps, and he immediately laughed. Do you think that you have offended a lot of people? Moreover, there are some people who, even if you did not offend them, would not want to see you better than others. I don't think I have offended many people. The people that I dealt with were asking for it. Sima Yue harumphed. In their eyes, you are the one in the wrong. No matter how you look at them, they are not pleasing to the eye. Beigong Tang said. That's true. Those people think differently from us. Sima Yue sighed. Boom, a shattering sound came from afar. She looked in that direction and curled her lips. Those people are really passionate. Of course. Beigong Tang wanted to laugh at this. I didn't realize that you were so charming before. Those disciples were actually willing to form a new force for you. My charm has always been very high. Otherwise, how could I have lured you guys to follow me? Sima Yue said with a smile. She could still remember that when she walked out of the city in Dongshan Nation, she saw those guys waiting by the roadside. At that time she had nothing in the eyes of others, but these guys knew that she was going to save her grandfather. They knew that the road ahead was dangerous, but they still followed her without hesitation. Did you invite the Guild Alliance? Beigong Tang's words interrupted her memories. Yes, Sima Yue said. I didn't intend to invite them at first, but they said that I'm a figurehead of the Guild Alliance after all. If I don't invite them since the others have already invited them, those old guys will probably make a fuss again. I wonder if those mysterious forces that are against the Guild and us are the same, Beigong Tang said. I don't think so. Sima Yue told her the analysis of Shiman Feng and the others that day. If it was the same force, then this force was too strong. It was terrifyingly strong. Moreover, according to the news she had recently received, there were other mysterious forces interfering in other places. They had even spread throughout the entire middle area. This kind of power was definitely not something that a single force could possess. Especially when they were able to prevent the people in the inner area from finding out their identities. It's really chaotic recently. I don't know how it will develop, Beigong Tang said worriedly. The forces in the inner area are forcefully occupying resources. It's either because they're too ambitious or they're robbing resources from the outside world. Humans are only looking at these things because they can't satisfy their desires. Sima Yue sighed. You're the only one who would be so lazy and push everything away. To be able to let you become a valley master, both sides had to spend a lot of effort to persuade you. I'm not interested in managing others, and I don't have any feelings towards others bowing down to me. Power has never been something I've pursued. Sima Yue said, since ancient times there's a saying, life is precious but love is even more valuable. If it's for freedom, both can be thrown away. Hee, others can't be as carefree as you. Hee, Sima Yue felt that she really did not like these things. Whether it was in the Alchemist Guild, the Alchemy Guild, or even the previous Broken Intestine Valley, she had always been a manager who did not have to do anything. Even if it was reorganized now, she was still only a deputy valley master. Moreover, she did not have to do anything, only a deputy valley master in name. At first, she was not even willing to do this, but they all said earnestly, the Broken Intestine Valley and the Demonic Valley can be fused together because of her. She is the link between them. If she does not do anything, it will not be good for stabilizing the people's hearts. With such a dignified reason, she could not refuse even if she wanted to. Fortunately, everyone understood her and gave her a deputy valley master who did not have to do anything. As long as she provided manpower, she did not have to do anything. Even if you do nothing, just standing there is good enough. Sigh. She let out a long sigh. She never thought that there would be a day when she would become a mascot. 3 months passed in a flash, and the appearance of the Broken Intestine Valley changed drastically. Houses sprung up from the hilltops like bamboo shoots after the rain. Each division had their own small territory not far from each other, but not disturbing each other. Not only that, they also built some houses on the cliff outside the Broken Intestine Valley. No, it was a group of houses, and it was estimated that it could accommodate tens of thousands of people. Sima Yue had never been out, but she could imagine how magnificent the group of buildings would be. In these 2 days, the place that was comparable to a small town gradually became lively, because there were only 3 to 4 days left before the reorganization conference. Many people from different forces had begun to arrive. If it was an ordinary invitation, most people would probably only arrive the day before the reorganization conference. However, they were too curious about the Broken Intestine Valley, so they came early to see what the Broken Intestine Valley looked like. In the end, they were not allowed to enter, and all of them were arranged to the houses outside the valley, saying that they could only enter on the day of the reorganization conference. Since their curiosity could not be satisfied, some people began to court death. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.